Out of the thousands of places on Earth, there are only a select few that are considered the most beautiful. These destinations are more than just visually stunning. They provide some of the best travel experiences that will last a lifetime. From the refined architecture of the Louvre Museum to the wide city views of New York City, here are the 100 most beautiful places to visit in the world. 100. Český Krumlov. Český Krumlov is a small town in Czechia known for its well-preserved historic center, which has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1992. As you walk along the narrow paths, you move past houses decorated with painted designs and graffiti details that show the town's long past. A short walk brings you toward Český Krumlov Castle, which rises above the rooftops. The complex is large, with courtyards that change as you pass from one to the next. Crossing the tall cloak bridge gives you a wide look at the town below. If you choose to climb the castle tower, the view becomes even clearer, letting you see the surrounding areas. When you head back toward the center, the tower of the Church of St. Vitu appears beside the castle tower. Inside the church, the tall Gothic ceiling and wall frescoes give you a simple look at the building's past. A few minutes away, Svornosti Square opens up with its town hall and Marianne Play column, where you can pause here to look around or continue into the Latran Quarter, which connects the square to the path leading back toward the castle. Near Latran, the Minorite Monastery complex adds a different part to your route. The restored buildings now hold workshops and exhibitions that show traditional crafts. Not far from the monastery, the Egon Schiele Art Centrum gives you another direction to explore. The gallery focuses on the Austrian painter whose family ties lead back to this town. 99. Cove, Ireland. Cove sits along the water in the southwest of Ireland. As you walk near the harbor, the town's history becomes clear. From the edge of the harbor, the road leads you uphill towards St. Colman's Cathedral, the tall church that rises above everything else. Inside, the stained glass adds color to the open space, and the carvings show careful detail in every corner. A short walk from the cathedral brings you to the steep row of Victorian houses known as the Deck of Cards. Their bright colors stand out, and the way they line the hill gives them a unique look. As you follow the road downhill, the Titanic experience comes into view. The building once served as the original White Star Line ticket office. Not far from the waterfront, the Cove Heritage Center sits inside the restored Victorian railway station. Inside, you follow stories about emigration and naval events. The waterfront leads you toward the statue of Annie Moore, showing her with her younger brothers. 98. Alberobello, Italy. Alberobello is a small town in the Puglia region of southern Italy, known for its trulli, the white stone homes with cone-shaped roofs. As you walk through the streets, the trulli stand close together, creating a clear view of how this style has shaped the town over time. As you move toward the main hill, you reach Rione Monti, which is the busiest area. This district is filled with trulli that line up along narrow roads and small alleys. Many of these homes are now shops or workshops, and you can step inside to see local crafts and products. A short walk away, Rione Piccolo gives you a different experience. This district is quieter, where you may see families sitting outside or plants arranged near doorways. The road leads you toward Trullo Sovrano, the only two-story trullo in Alberobello. It now serves as a museum, and the rooms show how families lived in the early 1900s. As you walk back through the lanes, you can look for the Trullo Siamese. This home has two cones joined together, and the inside is split by a wall due to a story involving two brothers who once shared it. Not far from here, the Museo del Territorio is set inside a group of connected trulli. Inside, you can walk through rooms that explain how the trulli were built, how the town grew, and how families worked in the past. 97. Giethoorn, Netherlands. Giethoorn is a quiet village in the Netherlands, known for its calm canals, wooden bridges, and small thatched-roofed homes. The waterways were first dug about 800 years ago by peat workers, and the canals formed the small islands where the cottages stand today. As you follow the path toward the main canal, the wooden bridges become one of the first things you notice. There are many of them throughout the village, and each one gives you a simple view of the water and the homes lined up along it. From here, renting a quiet whisper boat is one of the easiest ways to explore. These small electric boats move smoothly and let you guide yourself while you pass cottages and gardens. When you return to the footpaths, you can walk to Museum Giethorn Tulda Mantus. This museum is set inside a traditional farmhouse and gives you a clear look at what life was like here over the last century. A short walk away, Museum de U de Arde offers a different kind of experience with its collection of gemstones, minerals, and fossils from around the world. If you want more time outdoors, you can make your way to Wiedeben Wieden National Park, where you can follow trails through quiet marshes and reed beds. 96. Gaude, France. Gaude sits on a high rock in southeastern France, and as you arrive, the white and gray stone buildings stand out right away. Everything in the village is built from the same local stone, giving the area a steady and unified look. Staring at the center, the narrow stone paths called calade lead you past small homes, arches, and quiet corners that show how the village has kept its simple character over time. A short walk brings you to the Gaude viewpoint, where you can see the village rising above the Luberon Valley, with its stone walls and rooftops forming a clear pattern across the hillside. Moving back toward the center, you'll see the Chateau de Gaude Castle. Inside, you can walk through large rooms and stone passages that once served many purposes. A short distance away, the Abbaye Notre-Dame de Senonc offers a quieter experience. During late June and July, the surrounding lavender fields add color to the area. Heading back into Gaude brings you to one of the most interesting parts of the village. Beneath a Renaissance house, the Cave du Palais Saint-Firmin form a network of underground chambers cut directly into the rock that once held workshops, tools, and storage areas. A little farther from the village de Bourrier gives you another look at local life. The round dry stone huts in this open-air area were once used by farmers and shepherds. 95. Paraty, Brazil. Paraty is a coastal town in Brazil known for its calm streets and colorful buildings. The historic center is the main place you explore with a quiet charm. A short walk brings you to the old churches that help tell Paraty's story. The Capella de Santa Rita sits near the water and holds the Museum of Sacred Art, which shows items from past centuries. Not too far from it, the Igreja de Nossa Senhora do Rosário e São Benedito stands as another important part of the town's past, where you can learn more about how the streets were designed. From the edge of the historic district, you reach the waterfront, where the bay opens up with boats lined along the docks. This is where you can take a boat ride to the small islands, so as you move around the bay, the water becomes clearer. Stops like Ilha dos Cocos and Lagoa Azul gives you places to swim, snorkel, and enjoy the open water. A little farther along the coast, the inlet known as Zaco do Mamangua brings a different kind of setting. The inlet has many small beaches, and the scenery stays steady and peaceful as you move deeper into the waterway. From the shoreline, moving inland brings you into the Atlantic rainforest that surrounds Paraty. One of the most known places in the area is Cachoeira do Toboga, where water slides over a smooth rock. Close by, the Tarzan pool gives you a quiet place to cool off. If you want a slower beach setting, you can make your way to the small village of Trindade. The village has a relaxed pace, and the beaches like Praia do Sono is one of the main beaches people enjoy. A little farther along the trail, you arrive at the Caixadaco Natural Pool, where large rocks form a protected swimming area with gentle water. A short walk uphill brings you to Forte Defensor Perpetuo, which gives you a broad view of the Paraty Bay and the surrounding hills. 94. Reina, Norway. Reina is a small fishing village in the Lofoten Islands. As you walk along the shoreline, the bright red and yellow roboer sit on wooden stilts above the water. As you move toward the edge of the village, Reinabringen rises sharply above the water. From the top, the entire village stretches out below, with clear views of the surrounding bays and scattered islands. From the harbor, the morning ferry travels to Vinstad and Kirkfjorden. These small hamlets serve as the starting points for hikes to Bunes Beach and Horside Beach. Both beaches have soft white sand and quiet stretches of shoreline that feel far removed from the main villages. A short drive along the main road brings you to Sarkrisoy and Hamnoy, small islands that are linked by bridges. On Sakrisoy, Anita Siomad is a popular spot for warm fish burgers and smoked salmon. Meanwhile, Hamnua has small roads that give you a closer look at how fishing shaped daily life here. 93. Hallstatt, Austria. Hallstatt, located in Austria's Salzkammergut region, is a small lakeside village known for its traditional wooden homes. The village's narrow streets and preserved historic style make it easy to walk through and enjoy at a relaxed pace. As you continue toward the center, the streets guide you into Market Square. This open area has small shops, bright flowers, and homes with wooden balconies that add a simple charm. A short uphill walk brings you to St. Michael's Chapel, which sits above the village, giving you a clear view of the surrounding area. Next to the chapel is the Hallstatt ossuary, where painted skulls were placed after being moved from a small cemetery. Each one has names and simple decorations, showing how families honored their loved ones. From here, you can walk to the Salzburgbahn funicular, which takes you up the mountain to the Hallstatt Skywalk, a viewing platform that extends over the slope. When you stand on it, you see the lake, the shoreline homes, and the steep peaks behind them. Once you finish at the Skywalk, the Hallstatt salt mine, one of the oldest in the world, is close by. Here, a tour brings you through long tunnels, giving you a clear sense of the work that took place inside the mine. As you move farther from the center, the Eckern Valley offers a different setting within walking distance. Here, you can follow the path toward the Walbachstrub waterfall, where the water drops through a narrow opening in the rock. A bit farther along, the glacier garden shows deep holes formed by ancient ice that once shaped the valley. 92. Bled, Slovenia. Bled is a peaceful town in northwestern Slovenia with a mild climate throughout the year. Lake Bled is at the center of everything, and spending time near the water helps you understand why the area is so well known. A short wooden Bletna boat ride takes you from the shore to Bled Island. When you arrive, the long stone staircase leads up to a simple church with a bell inside. From the lake's edge, a steady uphill path guides you toward Bled Castle. The castle sits above the water, giving you a clear look at the surrounding area. Inside, you walk through small museum rooms with displays that explain the area's past. After leaving the castle, trails around Bled lead you to viewpoints like Mala Osojnica and Ojstrica. The climbs can be steady, but the views stay clear and rewarding once you reach the top. Near the center of town, the hill called Straza gives you another option where you can ride a toboggan down a smooth track during warm months. 91. Colmar, France. Colmar sits in northeastern France, known for its sunny weather and colorful streets. As you walk through town, the mix of French and German influence is clear in the buildings and small details that line each block. Little Venice is often one of the first areas you move toward. The quiet canals run through this part of town, where you can take a slow boat ride that brings you under its small bridges. A short walk from the canals brings you into the Old Town, where the narrow streets and cobblestone lanes lead you past well-kept medieval and Renaissance buildings. As you continue through this area, you reach the Pfister House, with its wooden balcony and painted walls that stand out right away. A few steps away, the House of Heads catches your attention, with its facade covered in over 100 carved faces, with each sculpture having its own design. Not far from here, St. Martin's Church rises above the surrounding streets, and inside you see stained glass and older elements that show how long the church has stood here. From the church, it's a simple walk to the Unterlinden Museum. Set inside a former convent, the museum holds art from different periods. The Isenheim altarpiece draws most of the attention, as its size and detail makes it one of the most important works connected to the region. As you move into another nearby street, the Bartholdi Museum appears along your path. The building was the birthplace of the French sculptor Auguste Bartholdi. Inside, the sketches and models show how his ideas developed and how his work grew over time. By the way, I've put all the best money-saving travel tips into my Travel on a Dime ebook. I'll tell you more about it later. 90. Kotor, Montenegro. Kotor sits along a calm bay in southwestern Montenegro, surrounded by tall mountains that rise close to the water. The old town is the first place you notice, with its stone streets and maze-like layout that once helped protect the city. The fortress walls above the old town offer one of the most recognizable experiences in Kotor. A long stone path leads up to the mountain toward the San Giovanni fortress, giving you wide views of the bay as you climb. St. Tryphon's Cathedral stands in one of the main squares of the old town. Inside, the space holds artwork, silver pieces, and relics connected to the city's patron saint. A short walk brings you to St. Luke's Church, located in a quiet corner of the Old Town. The small interior feels calm and steady, offering a simple place to pause. From here, the Maritime Museum of Montenegro provides a clear look at how the sea shaped Kotor's past. Model ships, uniforms, and navigational maps outline the town's long connection to sailing and trade. The waterfront offers a wider view of the Bay of Kotor. Boats leave from the docks and let you see the area from the water, giving you another way to take in the surrounding mountains and coastline. Farther along the bay, Perast offers a peaceful change from Kotor's busier streets. Here, boats take you to Our Lady of the Rocks, a small island built over many years by local sailors. Back inside the Old Town, the Cats Museum is a simple stop with small exhibits focused on cat-related items from different places and time periods. 89. Sintra, Portugal. Sintra, located in Portugal, is known for its historic center and calm atmosphere that makes it easy to walk around. Here, you can begin in the town center, where narrow streets lead towards small squares lined with shops and cafes. The bakery Piriquita is a well-known stop, offering sweet cheese tarts and almond pastries that many people enjoy. The Sintra National Palace stands nearby with 2 tall white chimneys. Inside, the halls are decorated with patterned tiles, and each room shows a simple style from earlier centuries. The Swan Room and Magpie Room display details that stand out in a quiet way. From here, the Moorish castle rises high above the town. Here, you can walk along the old stone walls that stretch across the ridge and stop at different points to see the valley below. Pena Palace brings a different experience with its bright colors and hilltop setting. The inside rooms display designs from earlier periods of Portuguese history. Close by, the chalet of the Countess of Edla sits deeper in the woods if you want to explore more. Quinta da Regalera provides a setting filled with paths, towers, and underground tunnels. Here, the initiation well is one of the most well-known features, and the spiral stairs lead you down to the base, where tunnels guide you to other hidden points. Montserrat Palace offers a calmer experience, with stone arches and interior halls showing careful craftsmanship in every section. Here, the gardens are wide and arranged into different areas, each showing plants from various parts of the world. Cabo da Roca brings a change of scenery, with high cliffs. The lighthouse stands near the edge, and the wide ocean views stretch far into the distance. 88. Bruges, Belgium. Bruges, located in the northwest of Belgium, is known for its well-preserved medieval center filled with canals and historic buildings. The entire area is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, often considered one of the best-preserved historic cities in Europe. A short walk from the center brings you to the market, where the open square creates a more active setting. Here, the Belfry Tower stands above everything, and the sound of its bells becomes part of the experience. From the square, the belfry gives you a closer look at the city's layout. The narrow staircase leads you upward level by level, and reaching the top gives you wide views of the red rooftops and the canals that offer a calmer change of pace winding through the city. Not too far, Berg Square is another important part of Bruges, where historic buildings surround the open area. Here, City Hall stands out with its detailed exterior, and inside, the Gothic Hall displays murals and woodwork that highlight the city's development. Nearby, the Basilica of the Holy Blood includes a simple lower chapel and a more decorated upper chapel, with a relic that adds significance to the site. Not far from the square, the Church of Our Lady guides you toward one of the tallest brick towers in all of Europe. Inside, the Madonna and Child by Michelangelo serves as a central point of interest. A short walk farther brings you to the Béguinage, one of the quietest areas in Bruges. The enclosed courtyard has white houses, tall trees, and a layout that encourages slow movement. 87. Portofino, Italy. Portofino is a small fishing village on the Italian Riviera, known for its colorful homes that sit close to the water. The area is compact and easy to walk, and the harbor provides a clear starting point for exploring the village at a relaxed pace. From here, the Piazzetta gives you an open look at the boats and the bright homes surrounding the bay. From the Piazzetta, the walk toward the Church of San Giorgio takes you uphill along a narrow path. As you move higher, the small yard near the church offers a quiet place to rest and look over the harbor. Continuing along the trail, Castello Brown appears not far from the church, with shaded paths and the small garden around it. The trail to the Portofino Lighthouse begins near the castle and follows the edge of the promontory. When you arrive, the space feels open and quiet, giving you a clear view across the Gulf of Tigullio. From the lighthouse area, the Portofino Regional Natural Park offers walking paths that move through pine trees and shaded sections of the hillside. One well-known route leads to San Frutuoso Abbey, a small cove with clear water and an old stone building near the shore. As you continue along the coast, the path to Paraji Bay brings you to one of the few sandy beaches near Portofino. Since it is part of a protected marine zone, you can swim, snorkel, or try paddleboarding in steady, shallow water. 86. Chefchaouen, Morocco. Chefchaouen, located in the Rif Mountains of northern Morocco, is known for its old medina covered in soft blue tones. The area offers a calm walking experience with narrow alleys that connect smoothly from one street to the next. Not far from the medina's smaller walkways, Plaza Uta El Hammam opens into a wider space. The square sits at the center of the old town, lined with cafes and local restaurants. The Grand Mosque stands on one side of the square. From here, the Kasbah offers a quieter place to explore with its red walls, and the watchtower gives you a higher viewpoint over the Medina. A short walk away, Ras El Ma brings a change in environment with the sound of flowing water. Fresh mountain springs reach the city here, and the steady movement of the water provides a refreshing stop. Farther uphill, the Spanish Mosque offers one of the most open views of the town. From the summit, the blue buildings spread across the hillside. 85. Oia, Greece. Oia sits on the northern cliffs of Santorini, known for its white houses and blue domes overlooking the sea. The village's paths move gently along the cliffside, and the steady views make it a pleasant place to walk to take in the shape and layout of the area. The old Venetian castle is one of Oia's most recognizable spots, rising at the edge of the village. During the afternoon, the calm breeze and wide scenery make this a comfortable place to pause before continuing through the nearby paths. Not far from the castle, the blue domed churches sit near the center of Oia. These domes stand out against the white buildings, and the small alleys around them open into quiet viewpoints. Amoudi Bay offers a different setting below the cliffs. The steps leading down take you toward the clear water, where small fishing boats move gently in the harbor. Back in the village, Panagia Plazzani Church stands near Oia's main square. Wide steps and an open courtyard surround the building, and its bright exterior leads into a peaceful interior with detailed artwork. If you're interested in learning about Oia's past, the Naval Maritime Museum sits inside an old captain's home. Inside, ship models and tools show the village's connection to the sea. 84. Dubrovnik, Croatia. Dubrovnik is located along the southern coast of Croatia. Its old town, a walled district, is known for its stone streets and historic buildings. The Stradun is one of the old town's most defining features, running straight through the center and giving you the easiest place to begin exploring. Not far from the Stradun, the city walls offer some of the best elevated views of Dubrovnik. Walking along the full loop gives you shifting views of the rooftops and the Adriatic Sea. Inside the old town, the Franciscan church and monastery sit near the entrance. One of the oldest working pharmacies in Europe is located inside, with shelves of jars and old tools showing how medicine was once prepared. A short walk away, the rector's palace adds another chapter to Dubrovnik's story. Its large halls, connected rooms, and open courtyard show how the city was governed during its strongest years. Just outside the old fort, Fort Lovrenjac stands on a high cliff above the water. The thick stone walls and wide courtyard show how strong the fort was built, protecting the city from the western side. Off the coast, Lokrum Island is only a short ferry ride away. Within the island, the small saltwater lake known as the Dead Sea has calm water for swimming. At the highest point of the island, Fort Royal has a circular design that lets you walk along the outer walls as you move through the structure. Behind Dubrovnik, Mount Srd rises over the city, and the cable car makes reaching the summit simple. At the top, open viewing areas give you a broad look at the surrounding area. 83. Bhaktapur Durbar Square. Bhaktapur Durbar Square sits at the center of Bhaktapur, a city known for its long tradition of art and craftsmanship. The old brick buildings and carved wood around you show how carefully the city has preserved its past, where many people still work on pottery, woodwork, and daily rituals here. Nyatapola Temple rises above the square with its tall 5-story structure, making it one of the most recognizable landmarks in the area. Here, each level feels solid and well built, and reaching the top gives you a clear view over the surrounding area. A short walk from the temple, the 55-window palace adds another layer of detail to the square. Here, the long row of carved wooden windows shows the skill of Newari artists who shaped each frame with patterns and fine lines. Next to the palace, the Golden Gate stands out with metalwork that has lasted since the 1700s. Its frame is covered with carvings of gods and symbols pressed into metal with great care. Nearby, the Vatsala Devi Temple brings attention to a different architectural style. Even after the 2015 earthquake, the stonework still shows clear lines and shapes. Close to the temple, the large Taleju bell rests on a raised stone platform. Its bronze surface has darkened with age, and it remains an important part of the square's religious activity. Within the palace complex, the Bhaktapur National Art Museum offers a quiet place to learn more about the city's traditions. Inside, the galleries display stone carvings, metal statues, and painted tankas from the Malla period. 82. Tikal Ruins. Tikal is an ancient city that sits inside a thick rainforest in northern Guatemala. The Maya once called this place Yaxmutal, and during its height, thousands of structures filled the area. The Grand Plaza brings you into one of the most active parts of the ancient city. Here, Temple 1 stands with steep steps and a tall roof structure, while Temple 2 sits on the western side of the plaza. Nearby, the North Acropolis adds another layer to Tikal's long history. This area contains several generations of temples built on top of each other, creating a complex stack of platforms and stairways. Farther along the path, the Mundo Perdido complex brings you into one of the oldest parts of Tikal. The Great Pyramid stands at the center, with wide steps leading to a simple open platform. A short distance away, Temple 4 rises above the rainforest and offers one of the widest views in the park. A long wooden staircase climbs beside the pyramid and leads you to a lookout above the treetops. 81. Old Quebec, Canada. Old Quebec gives you a close look at one of the oldest districts in Canada. The old stone walls still surround the upper town, and once you pass through the gates, the narrow streets and tall buildings immediately show how long this area has been lived in. The Fairmont Le Château Frontenac is one of the first landmarks you notice, with its tall roof. Beside the hotel, Dufferin Terrace stretches out along the cliff and offers a long wooden boardwalk overlooking the St. Lawrence River. A short walk uphill brings you to the Citadel, which sits at the highest point of Cap Diamant. The star-shaped fortress covers a wide area, and guided tours explain the purpose of its different sections. Below the cliffs, the Petit Champlain district creates one of the calmest atmospheres in Old Quebec. Here, you can walk through the narrow pathways and visit small shops with artwork and handmade goods displayed in the windows. Not far from here, Place Royale offers a quiet square surrounded by stone buildings from the earliest years of French settlement. The Notre Dame de Victoire Church stands along one side and remains one of the oldest stone churches in North America. 80. Gyeokbokgung Palace. Gyeokbokgung Palace is one of the most important historical sites in Seoul, offering a clear look at Korea's royal past. As you step inside the main grounds, the scale of the former royal residence becomes clear. Gwanghwamun Gate is the first major landmark you encounter, serving as the main entry point into the palace. Here, the changing of the royal guards takes place in front of the gate, giving you a direct look at one of the palace's most recognizable traditions. A short walk inside leads you to Gyeongjejun Hall, the main throne hall of the complex. Inside the hall, the king's throne is placed before a bright screen featuring the sun, moon, and mountains. Not far from the throne hall, Gyeonggaru Pavilion sits on a wide pond used for major gatherings. Continuing farther into the complex brings you to Yeongwonjeong Pavilion, with a small wooden bridge connecting you to the structure. The royal quarters are located nearby and give you a closer look at the private sections of palace life. Yotajeon Hall, used by the Queen, stands out because its roof does not have a ridge, separating it from many of the other halls in the area. Toward the southern section of the grounds, the National Palace Museum of Korea offers a more detailed look at objects once used by the royal court. Each section of the museum focuses on a different part of court life. On the east side of the complex, the National Folk Museum of Korea highlights daily life across Korea's past. Exhibits on home life, traditions, clothing, and tools show how different customs developed over time. 79. Topkapi Palace. Topkapi Palace sits on the historic peninsula of Istanbul, once serving as the main home of the Ottoman sultans. Today, it works as a museum filled with courtyards, quiet rooms, and important collections. The Imperial Council Chamber is one of the first areas you can explore. This room once held important meetings about the empire, with the small gold grill sitting high on the wall where the Sultan listened without being seen. The Imperial Harem offers a different experience, offering many rooms decorated with colorful Iznik tiles and detailed inlays. The Imperial Treasury brings a shift in atmosphere, where you can see jewels, gold pieces, and decorated weapons that were kept safe for centuries. The Chamber of Sacred Relics adds another perspective, with items believed to belong to the Prophet Muhammad. May peace and blessings of God be upon him, as well as relics linked to prophets, such as Moses and David. The Palace Kitchens introduces a practical side of the palace. Inside, the porcelain collection includes pieces from China and Japan. The fourth courtyard provides open space with smaller pavilions and shaded terraces. Areas near the Mesidisea kiosk and the Baghdad Pavilion offer wide views across the Bosphorus. 78. Old Havana, Cuba. Old Havana is the historic center of Cuba's capital, giving you a clear look at its long past. As you make your way through the neighborhood, the colors, sounds, and details show you why this part of Havana remains important. Plaza de la Catedral is one of the area's most well-known spots. The square opens around the Catedral de San Cristobal de la Habana, a structure recognized for its uneven Baroque front. Not far from here, Plaza de Armas offers a different experience, with tall palm trees outlining the square. Meanwhile, Plaza Vieja adds more movement to your route, where people often gather here to relax. Nearby, El Capitolio Nacional stands out with its large dome. Inside, the wide halls and detailed design work highlight the scale of the building, and a guided walk brings you to the Statue of the Republic, one of Havana's notable works of art. Continuing through the area, Calle Obispo provides one of the busiest walking routes. Music often fills the walkway, and the steady flow of people creates a lively setting as you move along the street. Reaching the edge of Old Havana, the Malecón opens the city to the ocean. The long sea wall faces the water, and many people gather here to watch the waves hit the rocks below. 77. Alhambra, Spain. The Alhambra sits on a hill overlooking Granada, standing as one of the most recognizable landmarks in northern Spain. The Nasrid palaces from the central highlight of the Alhambra. These rooms once served as the residence and court of the sultans. Every area reflects a high level of detail. Moving through the palaces brings you to spaces like the Court of the Myrtles, where a long reflecting pool stretches between the walls. The Hall of the Ambassadors continues to flow with a large wooden ceiling made from small interlocking pieces, and the Court of the Lions adds another layer with its marble fountain supported by 12 carved lions. A short walk uphill leads you to the Generalife, the former summer retreat of the Nasrid rulers. This area offers a calmer atmosphere with long garden paths and steady streams of water shaping the layout. The Patio de la Acequia is one of the first places you reach, marked by a narrow channel of water lined with steady jets. Farther along, the water stairway follows the slope of the hill, with water flowing alongside the steps as you climb. Following the paths toward the western edge of the complex brings you to the Alcazaba, the oldest and most fortified section of the Alhambra. The Torre de la Vela stands at the highest point of the fortress, and reaching the top gives you a wide view of Granada. Near the main entrance, the Palace of Charles V introduces a different architectural style. This Renaissance building has a large circular courtyard at its center, and the museums inside the palace display artwork and historical pieces connected to the Alhambra's long past. 76. Acropolis of Athens. The Acropolis of Athens serves as one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of Greece. This ancient hill once played a central role in the religious and civic life, and today it offers a clear look at how early Athens developed. The Parthenon is the most well-known structure on the Acropolis. This large temple stands at the highest point, and its long rows of columns create a strong visual impression from every angle. A short walk brings you to the Erechtheion. This temple structure is known for its uneven ground level and the porch of the Caryatids, where carved female figures support the roof. Moving toward the formal entrance, the Propylaea stands as a large gateway, known for its tall columns and wide passageway, which guides you into the central part of the Acropolis. Nearby, the Temple of Athena Nike offers a more compact experience. Its simple structure and elevated position provide clear views of the lower slopes. Continuing along the path, the Odeon of Herodes Atticus is built directly into the natural shape of the terrain. From above, you can see the curved seating and the stage, giving you a calm perspective theater. At the foot of the Acropolis Museum holds many sculptures and architectural pieces from the ancient structures above. Walking through the museum helps you connect the carvings and fragments with the temples they once belonged to. Now, I know you're getting excited about all these amazing places to visit, but if you're eager to travel the world to explore new locations, cultures, foods, and much more, while taking a breather from your everyday life, you also know it can cost you quite a lot of money. With the Travel on a Dime ebook, you have the opportunity to make the most out of any place you visit without overspending on your travel budget. From finding the right flights and hotel deals to money-saving tips during your trip, it's the perfect guide to help you travel like a pro, ensuring you have a great experience while saving hundreds of dollars on travel. Get your copy at thediscoverydestination.com. That's thediscoverydestination.com. Use code DISCOVER5 to save $5 off your copy. 75. Louvre Museum. The Louvre Museum sits in the center of Paris, known for holding one of the largest art collections in the world. It covers a wide range of time periods and cultures with its long hallways that make it easy to see how much the museum has grown over the years. The Mona Lisa is one of the most recognized works in the museum. Seeing it in person gives you the chance to focus on the details that are hard to notice in photos. A short walk from there brings you to the Winged Victory of Samothrace. The sculpture stands at the top of a staircase, and its large wings and angled posture make it one of the most striking pieces in the museum. Not far from this area, the Venus de Milo offers a quieter moment. The sculpture's steady pose and smooth carving highlight the artist's skill. Continuing deeper into the galleries brings you to the Coronation of Napoleon, filling an entire wall. Standing several feet back lets you see the full scene, from the clothing of the figures to Napoleon crowning himself. If you move toward the nearby hallway, you reach Liberty Leading the People. This painting carries a strong sense of movement, with a group of people pushing forward behind a woman holding the French flag. A little farther along, the wedding feast at Cana stretches across another wide wall, showing a busy gathering where people sit, talk, and interact at a long table. In a quieter section of the museum, the Code of Hammurabi stands tall. The dark stone is carved with early laws that guide daily life, and seeing the writing etched into the surface helps you understand the importance of the piece. A short distance from there, Psyche revived by Cupid's kiss brings a softer feeling to the space. The sculpture shows two figures in a gentle moment, and the wings, faces, and curved lines highlight the precision of the carving. If you continue toward the next gallery, the Raft of the Medusa presents a sudden change in tone. The large painting shows a group of survivors on a makeshift raft during a real event from the early 1800s. 74. Vatican City. Vatican City, located within the city of Rome, is the smallest independent state in the world, containing several important places you can explore at a steady pace. St. Peter's Square serves as a natural starting point, with its wide-open layout framed by long rows of columns. Here, the Egyptian obelisk creates a clear landmark in the center of the squares. St. Peter's Basilica offers a different atmosphere, especially once you walk inside. The tall ceilings and detailed artwork fill the interior, and Michelangelo's Pieta remains one of the most recognized pieces on display. Below the main floor, the Vatican grottos hold the tombs of many popes. Not far from the Basilica area, the Vatican museums create a completely different experience. Long hallways lined with paintings, sculptures, and decorated ceilings guide your movement through the galleries. The Raphael rooms stand out with their bright colors and full wall-sized scenes. This route gradually guides you toward the Sistine Chapel, where Michelangelo's ceiling stretches across the entire space. The Vatican Gardens provide one of the calmest areas within the territory. These gardens cover a large portion of Vatican City, where you move through open lawns, small fountains, and tree-lined paths at a relaxed pace. 73. Forbidden City. The Forbidden City, located in the center of Beijing, served as the home of China's emperors for hundreds of years. It covers a large area filled with ceremonial halls, courtyards, and detailed architectural features. The Meridian Gate is the first major structure you see, with its tall red walls and large wooden beams that create a strong impression as you enter. A short walk north brings you to the Hall of Supreme Harmony, one of the most recognized buildings in the Forbidden City. It sits on a large marble platform, and when you look up at the roof, you can notice the small figures lined along the edges. Continuing north, the Hall of Preserving Harmony marks another important area of the complex, where it hosted major ceremonies. Behind it, the great stone carving stretches across the slope as a single slab of marble carved with dragons and clouds. The walkways and courtyards throughout the outer court provide steady movement from one structure to the next. Wide paths, raised platforms, and open spaces make it easy to follow the central route without feeling rushed. 72. Chichen Itza. Chichen Itza sits in the eastern part of Yucatan, covering a large area filled with the remains of an ancient Maya city. El Castillo is one of the most recognized structures in the city, standing at the center of the grounds. Moving around the base gives you a clear view of the sharp angles and carvings that highlight how carefully the Maya designed each section. A short walk from the pyramid brings you to the Great Ball Court, which stretches across a long field bordered by tall stone walls. The size becomes obvious as you stand at one end, and a single clap sends an echo across the entire space. From here, the path leads you toward El Caracol, with its curved walls and small openings that help the Maya track the movement of stars and planets. Farther along the grounds, the walkway takes you to the sacred cenote. This large natural sinkhole drops down to calm water that held great meaning for the Maya. The Temple of the Warriors is located nearby in a wide open space filled with rows of stone columns that once supported a large roof. The platform above holds a chacmul figure, which was used during important rituals. Not far from the temple, Zompantli sits in a separate open area. The low platform is covered with carvings of skulls and figures that reflect Maya and Toltec traditions. 71. Neuschwanstein Castle. Neuschwanstein Castle sits above the village of Hohenschwangau in southern Germany. Built in the late 1800s by King Ludwig II, it remains as one of the region's most recognized landmarks, and inside, the throne hall stands out with its tall arches and detailed artwork, while the Singers' Hall stands out with its long layout. Not far from the castle, Meirenbrück offers one of the clearest views of Neuschwanstein. The Iron Bridge stretches across the Pulat Gorge, giving you a high overlook of the castle and the surrounding hills. Across the valley, Hohenschwangau Castle was King Ludwig II's childhood home. The yellow walls and quiet courtyards help explain why he chose this setting for his later palace. Below both castles, Alpsee Lake offers a simple walking loop around the shoreline. The trail is easy to follow, and the views remain steady as you move along the water. Next to the lake, the Museum of the Bavarian Kings gives you a clear look at the royal family's history. The displays outline how they lived, how the castles were built, and how their story shaped the region. For a higher viewpoint, the Tegelbergbahn cable car brings you up the side of the mountain. Several hiking trails start at the upper station, giving you room to walk and take in the wide view of the region. 70. Edinburgh Castle. Edinburgh Castle stands on Castle Rock in the center of Edinburgh, rising above the city from the top of an ancient volcanic hill. It's one of Scotland's most important historic sites, making it a good place to explore. The Crown Room is one of the first major stops inside the castle. Here, you can see the honors of Scotland, which include the crown, scepter, and sword of state. The Stone of Destiny is also displayed in this room. Not far from the Crown Room, the 1 o'clock gun area brings a more active experience. The cannon sits along the wall overlooking the city, and if you arrive before 1 in the afternoon, you can watch it fire. A short walk uphill leads you to St. Margaret's Chapel, the oldest surviving structure in Edinburgh. From the chapel, the path continues towards the Royal Palace, showing how Scottish rulers once lived. The Great Hall sits nearby and makes a strong first impression with its tall wooden roof and detailed carvings. The wide open floor makes it easy to take in the craftsmanship of the room. Outside the Great Hall, Mons Meg, a large cannon from the 1400s, rests on a raised platform overlooking the lower parts of the castle. A quieter space sits just ahead at the Scottish National War Memorial. The building honors Scottish soldiers, and the rooms inside hold books of remembrance. Below the Great Hall, the Prisons of War exhibition takes you into the vaults beneath the castle, showing where prisoners were held during the 17 and 1800s. Hammocks, wooden doors, and carvings left by prisoners help you understand what daily life was like in these underground spaces. At the front of the grounds, the castle esplanade stretches across the entrance. During August, this large space hosts the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo. Meanwhile, on regular days, the open area gives you plenty of room to enjoy the view of the city. '69. Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat sits in the northwestern region of Cambodia as the largest religious monument in the world. The main temple of Angkor Wat is the first area most people explore. The wide galleries are covered with detailed carvings that stretch across the walls, giving you a close look at scenes from ancient stories and daily life. The upper level of Angkor Wat takes you to one of the highest points in the temple. Moving through this area at your own pace gives you a stronger sense of the temple's scale and the effort required to build it. A short distance away, Angkor Thom introduces a different part of the ancient capital. The stone gate leading into the old city is lined with tall statues, and passing through it gives you a clear glimpse of how important this entrance once was. At the center of Angkor Thom, Bayon Temple stands out with the carved faces on its many towers. Walking through the narrow hallways and open courtyards brings these faces into view from all angles. Thap Prom offers a different experience inside the Angkor region. Large tree roots spread across walls, doorways, and pathways, giving the area a quiet and aged atmosphere. Farther from the main group of temples, Banteay Srey is known for its detailed carvings. Made from warm-colored stone, the patterns and figures on the walls stand out clearly, and the smaller layout of the temple lets you see each detail without feeling rushed. Also, Nom Bakeng sits on a hill that overlooks the surrounding forest. The walk to the top follows a steady incline, and the open terraces around the temple gives you several spots to pause and take in the views. '68. Sagrada Familia. The Sagrada Familia, located in Barcelona, is one of the most famous landmarks in the city, remaining as the most significant project tied to Antoni Gaudí, making it a major place to learn about his work. The interior of the basilica is one of its most recognizable features, with the tall columns rising toward the ceiling in a way that directs your attention upward. Not far from the interior's main walkway, the Nativity facade offers a closer look at Gaudí's direct craftsmanship, with carvings of plants, animals, and figures worked carefully into the stone. The Passion facade provides a different experience, with shapes that are sharper and with the figures showing stronger expressions meant to reflect the final moments in the life of Jesus. A small number puzzle carved into the stone adds another detail to look for as you explore this area. The Glory facade continues to develop as construction moves forward. Once completed, this side will serve as the main entrance, and its planned themes focus on faith, hope, and the path toward God. The tower area gives you a higher view of both the basilica and Barcelona. An elevator brings you to an upper platform, where you can see rooftops stretching out across the city. Meanwhile, the descent takes you through a narrow spiral staircase that winds steadily to the lower level. The museum located beneath the basilica shows how the entire project was shaped from the start. Models, drawings, and early sketches explain how Gaudí planned the building and how the construction process changed over time. '67. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Rio de Janeiro is in the southeast region of Brazil, known for its stunning natural setting. Often called Cidade Maravilhosa, or Marvelous City, making it a place where every area offers something unique. One of the first places you can visit is Christ the Redeemer, the iconic statue of Jesus on top of Corcovado Mountain. The easiest way to reach the top is by taking the Corcovado Rack Railway, which passes through the forest and provides a scenic approach. Nearby, Sugarloaf Mountain rises above the harbor with its distinctive granite and quartz peaks. Here, you can ride the two-stage cable car, first to Morro da Urca, a smaller hill, and then to the top of Sugarloaf, letting you experience the daylight scenery. After taking in these views, you can head to the world-famous beaches, Copacabana Beach and Ipanema Beach. Here, you can walk along Avenida Atlântica at Copacabana, or the Ipanema Promenade, giving you a sense of the rhythm of beach life. A short distance from the beaches, you can visit the Selarón Steps, a colorful set of steps connecting the neighborhoods of Lapa and Santa Teresa. The steps are decorated with thousands of tiles collected from around the world, making it a distinctive visual feature. Tijuca National Park offers another side of Rio, with trails winding through one of the largest urban forests in the world. Here, you can hike to peaks like Pedra Bonita, where the view overlooks the surrounding area. 66. Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal, located in the city of Agra in northern India, is one of the most recognized architectural sites in the world. The entrance gateway is one of the complex's most well-known features. This tall sandstone structure stands out with its wide arches, and passing through it sets up your first direct view of the mausoleum. Not too far, the long reflecting pool offers one of the most familiar viewpoints of the Taj Mahal. The pool stretches down the center pathway, and walking beside it gives you gradually changing angles of the main structure. The Charbagh Garden also draws attention as you move deeper into the complex. This area is divided into 4 sections by water channels that maintain a balanced layout. For a closer look, the main mausoleum rises from a large platform at the end of the garden. As you approach the base, the details in the marble becomes easier to see. The minarets on each corner of the platform provide another point of interest. These tall towers are angled slightly outward for structural safety, and walking around the platform lets you see how evenly they match in height and design. To the west, the mosque offers a different view of the complex with its red sandstone. 65. Petra, Jordan. Petra sits in the desert mountains of southern Jordan, with the warm color of the cliffs giving the entire area its Rose City name. The Sikh is one of Petra's most well-known features. This long, narrow passage cuts through tall sandstone walls, and the changing color of the rock gives you something new to notice with every step. Not too far from the end of the Sikh, the treasury becomes one of the most striking sights in Petra. Its carved front fills the space between the cliffs, and the soft red and pink tones stand out clearly in the morning light. The royal tombs also draw attention as you move deeper into the site. These large openings sit high in the mountainside, each carved with a different pattern shaped by the stone. The colonnaded street stretches across the valley floor. This road once served as the main route through the city, and now it gives you a clear view of how the area was organized. At the far end, Qasr al-Bint remains one of the strongest structures still standing in Petra. For a higher viewpoint, the trail to the high place of sacrifice rises above the valley. The climb moves across carved steps and stone ledges, and the heights gives you a broad view of the routes below. For a more remote experience, the path to the monastery extends farther into the mountains. At the top, the monastery stands with simple but massive carvings. 64. Burj Khalifa. The Burj Khalifa stands in the center of downtown Dubai, with its height making it visible from almost every direction in the city. The observation decks are some of the tower's most well-known features. These upper floors gives you a clear look over the city and the surrounding area. Not too far from the tower's entrance, the Dubai Fountain offers one of the most popular experiences in the area. The water shows run daily, and the fountains move in sync with music while the water reaches impressive heights. The Dubai Mall also draws attention as you move through downtown Dubai. This large indoor space has hundreds of stores along with an aquarium where you can walk through a long tunnel beneath sharks, rays, and fish. For a more quiet experience, Souk al-Bahar sits just across a short bridge from the Dubai Mall. The pathways are lined with shops, and the warm design creates a more traditional atmosphere. For a different kind of activity, the Dubai Opera sits within walking distance of the tower, and the venue hosts events throughout the year. 63. Great Barrier Reef. The Great Barrier Reef stretches along the northeastern coast of Australia. Its length makes it one of the most impressive natural systems in the world, offering clear water and colorful coral. Cairns is one of the most well-known gateways to the reef, offering boat tours that take you to the areas where the coral becomes easy to see. Snorkeling brings you close to fish moving around the coral, while scuba diving lets you spend more time below the surface. Not too far from the harbor, scenic flights offer another view of the reef. From the air, the shapes of the coral become clear as they spread across the water. Airlie Beach also draws attention as another starting point along the reef, offering easy access to the Whitsunday Islands. Whitehaven Beach is one of the main places to explore, with long stretches of white sand. The Whitsunday Islands open up even more as you continue exploring. Sailing between the islands is one of the most common ways to move through the area. For a more remote experience, the southern islands of the reef offer quieter conditions. Lady Elliot Island and Lady Musgrave Island are known for healthy coral gardens, where you can snorkel close to manta rays, and during turtle season, you may see hatchlings move toward the water. 62. Mount Kilimanjaro. Mount Kilimanjaro rises high above northeastern Tanzania, giving you a clear look at several different natural environments. Kilimanjaro National Park surrounds the mountain and offers cool forest trails that make it easy to explore the lower slopes at a steady pace. Uhuru Peak is one of the mountain's most well-known features that requires steady, slow walking as you adjust to the altitude. Each section of the climb moves through a different landscape, giving you wide views across the mountain. Not too far from the western routes, the Shira Plateau offers a calm, open area at high elevation. This section sits on what remains of an old volcanic part of Kilimanjaro, and the wide paths give you plenty of room to walk. Kikuletwa Hot Springs also draws attention as you move through the region. This warm, clear pool is surrounded by tall trees and soft sand, creating a quiet space to swim or rest along the edges. The lower areas around Moshi open up even more as you continue exploring. Materuni sits on a green hillside known for its coffee farms, where local guides walk you through each step of preparing coffee by hand. A short trail then leads to Materuni Waterfall, where the water drops into a cool pool. The path passes through small farms and patches of forest, keeping the area calm as you approach the falls. Lake Chala offers another change of scenery, with a crater lake whose color shifts from deep blue to bright green depending on the season. Paths along the rim give you clear views of the water, and kayaking lets you move across the lake at a slow, steady pace. For a more cultural experience, Olpopangi Maasai Cultural Village sits farther from the main mountain routes. Guided activities show how daily tasks are carried out, and you could walk through traditional houses while learning about Maasai customs, clothing, and tools. 61. Golden Gate Bridge. The Golden Gate Bridge stands at the entrance to San Francisco Bay, with its bright international orange color making it one of the most recognizable landmarks in the area. Battery Spencer is one of the bridge's most well-known viewpoints, sitting high in the Marin Headlands. The short walk to the viewing area opens up a wide scene of the bridge and the city behind it. Not too far from the northern side, Ford Point gives you another way to see the bridge from below. This old brick structure sits directly under the south end of the bridge, and walking through its open rooms shows you thick walls and long hallways. Crissy Field also draws attention as you move along the bay. This calm waterfront area includes a flat walkway where you can walk at your own pace. The Presidio area opens up even more as you continue exploring. Golden Gate Overlook offers a steady framed view of the bridge between tall cypress trees, and the nearby Presidio tunnel tops adds open seating and areas for simple outdoor activities. Baker Beach adds a different experience along the coast, with soft sand and long views of the surrounding area. 60. Banff National Park. Banff National Park in Alberta is Canada's first national park, covering a wide stretch of mountains, forests, and bright blue lakes. Lake Louise is one of the most well-known areas in the park, with trails around the lake giving you steady views of the surrounding mountains. Here, you can follow an easy path to the Lake Agnes Tea House, where the forest opens to a calm mountain lake. Not too far from Lake Louise, Moraine Lake offers another clear blue lake surrounded by tall peaks. Here, the Rockpile Trail gives you a wide overlook of the water, and the path toward Larch Valley leads through stands of larch trees that turn bright yellow in the fall. The Banff Gondola also draws attention as you continue exploring. The ride lifts you up the side of Sulphur Mountain with smooth, steady movement. At the top, boardwalks guide you along the ridge toward Sanson's Peak, where open platforms give you many places to look out toward the surrounding ranges. The central areas of the park open up even more experiences. Johnston Canyon offers an accessible route where the walkway follows the creek through narrow rock walls toward the lower and upper falls. Meanwhile, the Icefields Parkway provides a long route passing bright lakes, tall peaks, and wide valleys. Stops like Peyto Lake and Bow Lake give you calm places to rest, and guided tours take you onto the Athabasca Glacier for a short walk on the ice. For a more relaxed experience, Banff Upper Hot Springs sits high on the side of Sulphur Mountain. The warm water comes from natural springs, and the open views of the surrounding peaks create a quiet setting. 59. Plitvice Lakes National Park. Plitvice Lakes National Park sits in central Croatia as the country's oldest and largest national park. The upper lakes are one of the park's most well-known areas. These wide spaces are filled with calm waters and tall trees, and the boardwalks lead you along gentle cascades that connect the larger lakes. Not too far, the lower lakes offer a more enclosed setting inside a deeper canyon. This part of the park is home to Veliki Slap, the tallest waterfall in Croatia, dropping steadily down the cliff face. The main section of the park opens up even more once you reach Lake Kozjak. A slow electric boat crosses the lake and gives you simple views of the forested hillsides and clear water near the boat. 58. Iguazu Falls. Iguazu Falls stretches across the border of Argentina and Brazil, spreading across the jungle in hundreds of separate drops, with most of the water flowing on the Argentine side. The Devil's Throat is one of the most well-known parts of the area. This large U-shaped opening sends water down with a force that fills the air with thick mist. Not too far from the section, the upper circuit gives you a calm way to see the falls from above. The metal walkways rest right over the water, letting you look across the river and stand near the edges of the falls. The lower circuit also draws attention as it brings you closer to the power of the falls below. Several viewpoints sit near the base of different cascades, each offering a new angle of the water rushing over the cliffs. For a quieter experience, the bird park on the Brazilian side offers a calm change of pace. Here, you can walk through open spaces to see macaws fly overhead. Toucans rest on branches, and flamingos gathering in shallow pools. For a wide view of the surrounding area, the Three Frontiers landmark sits at the meeting point of Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay. Here, the viewing area allows you to look across the water toward the land on each side. 57. Torres del Paine National Park. Torres del Paine National Park covers a large area of southern Chilean Patagonia, recognized as a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve. The base of the Towers Trail is one of the park's most well-known features. The steady route rises through open terrain and leads you to a pale green lake at the foot of the three granite towers. Not too far from this section, the W Trek offers another clear way to explore the park. The trail is well marked, moving along different landscapes that opens and closes around you. The O Circuit also draws attention as it circles farther around the Paine Massif. This longer route passes quiet valleys and lesser-seen glaciers, giving you a clear look at parts of the park that feel more remote. The center of the park opens up even more as you reach Valle Francés, where you can walk through forests and rocky sections. Within the valley, the British viewpoint gives you one of the clearest looks at these mountains. Grey Lake adds another major step, where deep blue and gray water sits below floating ice from Grey Glacier. A boat ride takes you near the glacier's tall ice wall, and guided ice walks let you move across the surface. For a higher viewpoint, Salto Grande connects Lake Nordenskjold and Lake Pihoe with a steady rush of water. A short climb brings you to the Condor viewpoint, where Lake Pihoe spreads out below the mountains in bright blue shades. 56. Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji rises above central Honshu, recognized as the tallest point in Japan. Even though it remains an active volcano, it has stayed quiet for many years. Lake Kawaguchiko is one of the most well-known places to see Mount Fuji. The shoreline offers flat, easy paths, and on clear days, the calm water reflects the peak. Not too far from this lakeside area, Oishi Park offers another open view of the mountain. The walkway moves past flowers and plants that change through the seasons. Oshino Hakai also draws attention with its slower, traditional setting, known for a group of clear ponds fed by water that melts from Mount Fuji. The central part of the region opens up even more once you reach Arakurayama Sengen Park. A steady walkway leads you to the Churieto Pagoda, where the red structure stands above the city. Fuji-Q Highland adds a different option nearby, where fast rides and tall roller coasters create brief, quick views of the surrounding area with every turn. For a quieter experience, Aokigahara sits on the western side of the mountain. This forest grew over old lava from past eruptions, and the ground shifts between uneven rock and soft soil. Nearby lava caves such as the Ice Cave and Wind Cave offer cool interiors and smooth rock walls shaped by volcanic activity. For broader views across the landscape, the Fuji 5 Lakes region spreads out around the northern base of the mountain. Each lake offers a different vantage point, and the open surroundings make it easy to see how the mountain connects each area. 55. Dolomites, Italy. The Dolomites in northeastern Italy, recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its rare rock formations and natural beauty. Val di Funes is one of the most well-known areas to begin exploring. The valley floor stretches out with open fields, and small wooden buildings sit beneath the tall gray peaks. Here, you can walk toward the St. Johann Church for a clear look at the Oda Mountains, while the Santa Maddalena Church sits higher on a slope and provides another simple viewpoint. Not too far from this valley, Cesera offers a different experience above the ridgeline. A gondola brings you close to the top, where tall rock walls rise above the open terrain. Lago de Braeix also draws attention with its calm, deep green water. A wooden boathouse sits near the edge of the lake, where you can rent a rowboat and a paddle. The center of the region opens up even more once you reach Tres Cime de Lavaredo. The three tall rock towers rise straight from the ground, and a well-marked loop trail circles the area. Paso Gardena adds another high viewpoint, with a road that moves between open slopes and tall rock faces, and several stops where you can look out toward the Sella Group. For a more comfortable setting, Cortina d'Ampezzo sits in a wide valley surrounded by high peaks. The town streets are easy to walk, and the cafes and shops give you a simple place to rest. 54. Fiordland National Park. Fiordland National Park covers a huge area in the southwest corner of New Zealand's South Island. Milford Sound is one of the park's most well-known features. Boarding a boat gives you a clear way to experience it at your own pace. So as you move toward the water, the sharp point at Mitre Peak rises above the fjord. Not too far from this section, Doubtful Sound offers a deeper sense of space. Reaching it requires a boat trip across Lake Manapuri and a drive over Wilmot Pass. An overnight cruise lets you settle into the stillness as the ship moves through wide channels surrounded by tall, shadowed walls. The Kepler track also draws attention as a way to explore the park from above. The views stretch across mountains, lakes, and valleys, and the open terrain makes it easy to pause along the way. The Routeburn track offers another option for seeing the mountain from a higher angle. A day hike to Key Summit is a popular choice that leads to wide views in several directions. 53. Ha Long Bay. Ha Long Bay sits in northeastern Vietnam with its calm water spreading between tall limestone towers. T-Top Island is one of the most well-known places to see the bay. The curved beach gives you a quiet shoreline to rest, and a long staircase leads to a higher overlook above the island. Not too far from this area, Sung Sot Cave offers a deeper, enclosed setting. The entrance leads into large chambers filled with tall rock formations that have formed over many years. Lan Ha Bay also draws attention with its calm water and clusters of small islands. Kayaking gives you a steady way to move through narrow openings and toward hidden lagoons. Kua Ban Floating Village provides another single-focused experience. The homes sit on wooden platforms above the water, and a rowboat helps you move through the village quietly. Cat Ba Island opens up a different side of the region. As the largest island, it includes protected forest areas filled with steep hills and dense plant life. Here, hiking trails in Cat Ba National Park take you through shaded jungle. Viet Hai Village sits deep inside Cat Ba National Park, giving you a slower, rural setting. You reach it by boat and then walk or cycle along a short path through rice fields, gardens, and small farms. Bai Tu Long Bay offers a quieter route across the northeastern side of the region. Here, the tall rock towers rise above long stretches of open water, making it simple to enjoy the surroundings. Pearl farms across the bay give you a close look at how oysters are raised in the calm waters. Small platforms float on the surface, and workers explain the process as you move through the farm. 52. Victoria Falls. Victoria Falls sits on the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe, with its width and steady roar making it one of the most powerful waterfalls in the world. Victoria Falls National Park and Mosi Oatunya National Park give you your first close look at the falls. The rainforest paths stay damp from the mist, and each opening along the route reveals a new section of the water. Not too far, the Knife Edge Bridge offers one of the most intense experiences. The walkway crosses a narrow gap where the spray rises from all sides. Devil's Pool also draws attention during the low water season. A natural rock barrier beneath the surface allows guided groups to reach a calm pool at the very edge of the falls. A flight above the falls gives you another clear perspective. From above, the shape and structure of the falls becomes easier to understand. The Victoria Falls Bridge provides another single location to explore. The steel structure stretches across the gorge, and guided walks let you stand beneath it for a close look at its frame. 51. Salar de Uyuni. Salar de Uyuni sits in the high plains of southwest Bolivia, where the ground stretches out in a wide sheet of white. The flat covers more than 4,000 square miles and formed after ancient lakes dried, leaving a deep layer of salt. During the rainy season, a thin layer of water creates a clear reflection of the sky, and on dry days, the solid surface shows how large and open the area truly is. The main salt flat is one of the region's most well-known features. The level ground and empty background make it easy to understand its sheer size. Not too far from the central plain, Inkawasi Island rises from the salt, with rough rock and tall cacti growing across its slopes. a short trail leads to the top, where the view opens in every direction. Salt hotels also draw attention as another single stop. Many of them use blocks of salt for their walls, floors, and furniture, giving the buildings a clean, solid feel. 50. Reynisfjara Beach. Reynisfjara is a black sand beach on Iceland's south coast, formed from basalt lava that broke apart over many years. The Atlantic waves push the fragments inland, creating a long stretch of dark sand that feels different from most beaches. The basalt columns are one of the beach's most well-known features. These tall, tightly packed shapes rise along the cliff and look like stacked stone blocks arranged side by side. Not too far from the cliffs, the Reynisdrangar sea stacks rise a short distance from the shore. These sharp rock pillars stand straight out of the ocean and form one of the most striking silhouettes along the coastline. 49. Uluru Kata Juta. Uluru Kata Juta National Park covers a wide area in Australia's Northern Territory, with an open desert that gives you clear views in every direction. The red earth, long stretches of flat land, and isolated rock formations make the region feel steady and uncluttered as you begin exploring. Uluru is one of the park's most well-known features. The sandstone surface changes color throughout the day, shifting from deep red to soft orange as the sun moves. The base walk offers a steady path around the formation, while the nearby cultural center explains Trikirpa in a clear and respectful way, giving context to the stories connected to these locations. Not too far from here, Kata Juta rises from the desert as a group of large rounded domes. The Valley of the Winds trail takes you between tall rock walls and through open areas that show the domes from different angles. The Walpa Gorge also draws attention as one of the quieter sections of the park. The walk moves through a narrow gap formed by two of the tallest domes, where shade collects along the rock faces. 48. Pamukkale, Turkey. Pamukkale sits in southwestern Turkey, known for its bright white hills formed by warm, mineral-rich water. The water running over the terraces is heated naturally from underground, and as the minerals settle, they build the white layers that cover the cliffside. The travertine pools are one of the main places people explore. Here, you walk barefoot along the approved path, and the shallow water moves gently around your feet. Not too far above the pools, Hierapolis stretches across the plateau as a wide ancient city. The open pathways lead you past broken walls, tall columns, and broad courtyards that show how people once lived near the springs. Close by, the Roman theater rises sharply above the landscape, and walking to the top gives you a clear view of the ruins and the surrounding hills. Cleopatra's Pool also draws attention as a warm place to swim among remnants of ancient stone. The water stays comfortable throughout the year, and the gentle bubbling adds to the relaxed pace of the pool. Nearby, the necropolis covers a long stretch of land at the edge of the ancient city. Walking along the path gives you a space to look closely at the carvings and different styles that were used during the city's active years. Also, the Hierapolis Archaeology Museum offers a clear look at the history of the site. Set inside an old Roman bathhouse, the museum displays carved panels, large sarcophagi, statues, and smaller everyday items found nearby. 47. Namib Desert. The Namib Desert stretches across the coast of southern Africa, giving you wide open views shaped by dry winds and long stretches of sand. Because this desert has remained dry for millions of years, the land has a quiet, untouched appearance that stays consistent as you explore. Sosuvle is one of the central stops for people exploring the desert. A bright clay pan sits in the middle of tall dunes, and the early morning light creates long shadows across the sand. Not too far from this area, Deadvlay creates a stark contrast in scenery. The white clay pan sits beneath red dunes, and dark sun-dried tree trunks stand in place after hundreds of years. The Skeleton Coast also draws attention as the desert meets a cooler, fog-covered shoreline. Mist settles over the beaches during many mornings, and shipwrecks rest along parts of the coast, showing how strong the waves and currents can be. Swakopmund gives you a simple way to experience the coast alongside calm streets with older buildings. Walvis Bay provides another clear look at the coastal side of this desert. Here, marine cruises take you across the water where dolphins often swim near the boats and seals rest along the sandbanks. Nearby, the Welwitschia Plains offer a chance to see one of the desert's most unusual plants, the Welwitschia, which grows only two long leaves that twist and stretch over time. 46. Lauterbrunnen Valley. Lauterbrunnen Valley sits in the Bernese Oberland region of the Swiss Alps, shaped by ancient glaciers that carve tall rock walls on both sides. Staubach Falls is one of the first places you notice as you move through the valley. The water drops in a long straight line from the high cliffs above the village, and a short trail brings you close to the falling spray. Not too far from this area, Trommelbach Falls provides a completely different experience. These powerful falls run inside the mountain, while tunnels and walkways lead you through narrow chambers cut into the rock. Wengen also draws attention as a quieter mountain terrace above the valley. A small train carries you up the hillside, and once you reach the top, the views open toward the Eiger, Monk, and Jungfrau peaks. Muren offers another calm setting on the opposite side of the valley. The cable car ride gives you a steady climb to the top, and the village spreads out along the cliffs with clear views of the high peaks. 45. Wadi Rum. Wadi Rum sits in the south of Jordan, stretching across a wide desert of red sand, tall sandstone mountains, and open valleys. Guided jeep tours are one of the main ways people begin exploring the area. Many routes include a stop at Lawrence's Spring, where the ground feels cooler and the views stretch across the nearby hills. Not too far from these open areas, Al-Khazali Canyon offers a quiet place to walk. The canyon walls show carvings of figures, animals, and tracks that were left long ago, giving you a close look at how people once moved through this landscape. The Burda Rock Bridge offers another clear experience on the rocky side of the desert. A short climb leads you to the top of the arch, where the view feels open and balanced. The Little Rock Bridge sits nearby, providing a smaller but equally simple climb. The rock formation rises gently above the ground, and reaching the top gives you a wide view of the surrounding valleys. Also, Jebel Adami rises on the southern edge of Wadi Rum, standing as Jordan's tallest mountain. A guided hike follows a clear path to the summit, leading to open views across the desert floor. 44. Blyde River Canyon. Blyde River Canyon sits along South Africa's panorama route, giving you wide green views shaped by steep cliffs and thick vegetation. The three rondavels are one of the main landmarks in the region. These three round grass-covered peaks rise along the edge of the canyon, with a viewpoint that gives you a direct look at the cliffs and slopes below. Nearby, Burke's Luck potholes show how the canyon has been shaped by water. Bridges cross above the formations, giving you simple views of the rounded pockets where water continues to carve through the stone. A short distance away, God's Window opens up one of the highest viewpoints in the region. A brief walk through shaded forest leads to an overlook that faces the Lowveld stretching far into the distance. Along this section, the pinnacle rock stands in a narrow gorge as a tall quartzite column rising above the surrounding trees. A short path brings you to a viewing platform where you can see the rock up close. Further into the canyon, Blyde Dam offers a calm setting surrounded by steep rock walls. Here, a boat cruise takes you through the narrow channels at an easy pace. The trip also brings you near the Kadishi Tufa waterfall, where water flows across the rock in a steady, slow sheet. 43. Jeju Island. Jeju sits off the southern coast of Korea, shaped entirely by volcanic activity. Hallasan National Park is one of the main places people begin their time on the island. Here, long walking paths move through shaded forest and open terrain, and the climb toward the summit remains steady throughout the hike. On the eastern side, Seongsan Ichulbong rises sharply from the coastline. The walk up the steps is short, with the top opening to a wide view of the ocean and crater rim. Close by, the Manjangul Cave gives you an underground look at how the island formed. This long lava tube stays cool throughout the year, with a walkway that leads you through curved rock walls shaped by flowing lava. Along the coast, the Jeju Oli trails give you a slower way to explore the island. These routes move across open fields and narrow coastal lanes, with each section having its own character. In another part of the island, Jeju's Haenyeo divers add a strong cultural layer to the landscape. These women dive without oxygen tanks to gather seafood, following a tradition passed down through generations. The nearby Haenyeo Museum explains their training, tools, and daily routines in a clear way. 42. Whitehaven Beach. Whitehaven Beach sits on Whitsunday Island with bright white silica sand that immediately stands out. Hill Inlet is one of the main places people visit on the northern end of the beach. A short walk leads you to a lookout where the tide shifts the sand and water into smooth, changing patterns. Along the shoreline, swimming at Whitehaven Beach gives you a clear sense of its calm setting. The sand feels soft under your feet, and the shallow water stays gentle as small waves reach the edge. Further across the island, walking trails gives you another way to explore the surroundings. These paths move through forested areas and lead toward small coves where the water stays quiet. Many sailing tours stop at Tung Bay, where short trails guide you to the viewpoints away from the busier parts of the island. 41. El Nido, Philippines. El Nido sits along the northern tip of Palawan, known for its clear water and tall limestone cliffs. As you travel through the area, the water shifts from deep blue to bright green, and coral appears close to the surface, giving the region an open, lively feel. The big lagoon on Miniloc Island is one of the main places people explore. Here, you can take a kayak and paddle through the long channel as the cliffs narrow around you. Nearby, the small lagoon offers a more enclosed setting. A tight opening leads into a bright pool hidden behind the rock, and once you enter, the water feels still and peaceful. Close by, the secret lagoon gives you a different kind of experience. A narrow opening at the base of a cliff leads to a shallow pool surrounded by high rock walls. Along another stretch of the bay, Hidden Beach brings you to a strip of white sand behind tall rock formations. Here, you can snorkel through the channel and watch fish move through the coral close to the surface. Further across the islands, Matinloc Island gives you a high viewpoint overlooking Bacuit Bay. The short climb up the limestone path leads to a lookout where the water channels stretch between the islands. On the mainland, Nakpan Beach offers a long stretch of golden sand. Here, the water stays gentle and steady, making it good for swimming or relaxing close to the edge. 40. Railay Beach. Railay is a quiet peninsula in southern Thailand, surrounded by tall limestone cliffs and calm blue water. Pranang Cave Beach is one of the first places many people visit. The sand stays soft, the water remains clear and shallow, with Princess Cave sitting along the edge of the shore, holding a small shrine filled with colorful offerings. Close by, Railay Viewpoint gives you a wide look at the peninsula from above. Once you reach the top, the view stretches across both sides of Railay, showing the beaches and cliffs from a higher angle. A short drop below the viewpoint sits the hidden lagoon, a round pool surrounded by rock walls. Along another part of the peninsula, Tonsai Beach offers a more relaxed setting. The tall limestone cliffs make this a popular place for rock climbing, where you can join beginner lessons if you want to try it. Across the walkway, Railay West Beach gives you one of the widest stretches of sand in the area. The water here works well for swimming, with an open view of the Andaman Sea. 39. Bahia do Sancho, Brazil. Bahia do Sancho sits inside the Fernando de Noronha archipelago off Brazil's northeastern coast, giving you a calm escape as you explore the area. Snorkeling is one of the main reasons people spend time here. The turquoise water lets you see sea turtles moving along the reefs, colorful fish swimming through the rocks, and smaller sharks gliding in the deeper sections. A short distance above the beach, the route down to the sand adds a sense of adventure. A narrow opening in the cliff leads to a metal ladder fixed inside the rock. Along the edge of the cliffs, the viewpoint at Mirante Bahia do Sancho gives you a wide look at the entire cove. A flat boardwalk leads to the platform, where the surrounding cliffs curve around the bright water below. Out on the water, boat trips bring you to Bahia do Sancho from offshore. These tours follow the cliffs, showing the full shape of the cove, while dolphins often appear near the boats as they move along the coast. 38. Grace Bay. Grace Bay sits on the northeastern side of Providenciales in Turks and Caicos, with the long shoreline spreading out in a clear curve of soft white sand. Grace Bay Beach offers one of the longest and smoothest stretches of sand in the Caribbean, where you can walk for a long distance without interruptions. On the western side of the bay, the bright reef gives you an easy place to snorkel from the shore. Sea turtles, rays, and bright fish move through the shallow water, and the clear visibility makes it simple to float and watch the reef below. Farther offshore, Princess Alexandra National Park protects the waters around Grace Bay. Its protected status helps marine life thrive, so you get steady open views of healthy coral and fish without going far from the shoreline. Toward the eastern end, Leeward Channel gives you calm water that leads toward the mangroves. Here, you can rent a clear-bottom kayak or paddleboard and move through the shallow areas near the marina at a slow pace. 37. Anse-Source d'Argent. Anse-Source d'Argent sits along the west coast of La Digue, where soft sand meets tall granite boulders that shape the shoreline into small coves. The lagoon beside the beach stays shallow and clear because of the outer reef. The water has a warm, gentle feel, and the depth changes very slowly as you move farther out. Before reaching the beach, L'Union Estate gives you a look at the island's history. The grounds include an old copper mill and small vanilla plants that show how the land was used in the past. The giant tortoise pen sits nearby, where you can watch the Aldabra tortoises move slowly across the area. Along the reef edge, higher tides create simple snorkeling conditions, where small reef fish move near the barrier. Beneath the trees, small juice stands give you an easy place to stop as you walk the beach. Fresh coconut, mango, and starfruit juices are served chilled, offering a quick break. 36. Tulum Beach. Tulum Beach stretches along the eastern coast of the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, where soft white sand meets clear blue water. One of the area's most well-known features is the Tulum Archaeological Site. The ancient stone structures sit above the water on a tall cliff, where you can walk through the grounds along the original pathways. Here, El Castillo stands at the highest point, giving a view from the top that shows the coastline in clear, steady colors. For a wider experience, the Sian-Kaan Biosphere Reserve stretches south of the main beach. A guided boat ride leads you through narrow waterways, and in some shallow sections, you can float with the current. Along this section, the Tulum Beach Strip gives you an easy route to explore. Here, small shops, open-air cafes, and outdoor art line the road. 35. Bora Bora. Bora Bora is known for its bright blue lagoon and calm island setting. The island formed from an old volcano, and the tall central peak helps shape how the outer motus and the reef protect the water. One of the area's most well-known features is the lagoon itself, where water shifts through different shades of blue. A guided lagoon tour circles the island and stops in shallow spots where you can snorkel with black-tip reef sharks and feed stingrays. Nearby, Matita Beach gives you a quiet stretch of shoreline. The sand feels soft under your feet, while the waves stay low throughout the day, creating an easy place to rest along the edge. Another highlight is Mount Otemanu, which adds a higher viewpoint on the island. Close by, the Coral Gardens offer a simple snorkeling spot on the eastern side. The coral sits close to the surface, with water that stays calm enough for slow swimming. Along this section, Baitape brings you into the island's main village. The shops here display Tahitian black pearls in different sizes and shades, giving you a chance to look at pieces made from nearby waters. 34. Cappadocia, Turkey. Cappadocia sits in central Turkey, known for its tall rock formations and open valleys shaped by old volcanic activity. One of the area's most well-known features is the sunrise balloon flights. A morning ride lifts you above the ferry chimneys, giving you a wide look at the valleys. Nearby, the Goreme Open Air Museum adds a clear look at old rock-cut churches and chapels. Here, you can walk through these carved spaces and see the bright frescoes still covering the walls. For a different experience, Derinkuyu and Kaimaikli take you underground. These historic cities were carved deep below the surface, using long tunnels and connected rooms to create protected living areas. A short distance away, Uchisar Castle offers one of the highest viewpoints in the region. The path climbs through carved steps and open rock sections, before reaching the top with wide views of the surrounding valleys. For a quieter experience, Rose Valley offers a calm place to explore on foot. The trails move through narrow paths and open areas where the shapes of the formations change as you walk. Close by, Red Valley brings a similar style of exploration with its open terrain and tall formations. Along this section, Love Valley adds another steady route through tall rock pillars and open ground. The trail curves across the valley floor and stays easy to follow, giving you plenty of room to enjoy the scenery. 33. Kyoto, Japan. Kyoto sits in the Kansai region of Japan with a calm atmosphere, making it easy to explore the city. One of the city's most well-known features is Fushimi Inari Shrine. The walkway leads through long rows of bright orange gates as you follow the trail up the mountain. Not too far, Kinkakuji adds a different setting. The gold-covered upper floors stand beside a calm pond. The Arashiyama Bamboo Grove also draws people looking for a shaded, quiet walk. The tall bamboo rises on both sides, adding to the calm feeling of the path. For a higher viewpoint, Kiyomizu-dera Temple rises above the hillside with a wide deck overlooking the city. For a quieter street experience, Gion shows another side of the city. Here, older wooden homes line the narrow paths, while the route along the Shirakawa Canal reflects the calm of the area. A short distance away, Nishiki Market gives you a simple way to explore Kyoto's food traditions. The covered street stays easy to follow, with stalls offering local items like matcha sweets, tofu skin, and pickled vegetables. 32. Queenstown, New Zealand. Queenstown sits in the Otago region of New Zealand's South Island. One of the area's most well-known features is Kawarau Bridge, which stretches across a bright turquoise river. This is where the first commercial bungee jump began, so you can watch people jump throughout the day. Nearby, the Skyline Gondola offers a high, open view of Queenstown. The ride takes you up to Bob's Peak, where the lake and the surrounding mountains appear clearly in front of you. A short distance away, the Shotover River adds a faster experience. The narrow canyon creates a defined route for jet boats that move with quick turns and sharp spins. For higher ground, the Remarkables offer wide slopes above the town every season. In winter, the mountain becomes a simple place to ski or snowboard with long runs. Meanwhile, in summer, steady hiking trails lead to open viewpoints across the valleys. Close by, Coronet Peak provides another elevated area on the opposite side. The mountain is known for its layout that is easy to navigate. Lake Wakatipu also draws people looking for a quieter pace. Here, the TSS Ernslaw, a historic steamship, carries you across the water. 31. Amalfi Coast. The Amalfi Coast stretches along southern Italy, with steep cliffs and towns built into the rock. One of the coast's most well-known areas is Positano. The tall hills are covered with pastel homes that move down toward the shoreline. The beach area opens up at the bottom, giving you plenty of space to walk along the edge of the water. Not too far, Ravello offers a higher, quieter setting. Here, Villa Cimbrone's Terrace of Infinity provides one of the most open vantage points as you look across the cliffs and water below. For a more active center, Amalfi town adds a steady flow of movement. Here, the Duomo di Sant'Andrea rises above the main square. For a higher route, the Path of the Gods gives you a clear line along the cliffs. The trail moves through open sections with constant sea views and a small hillside homes scattered along the way. Nearby, the Emerald Grotto offers a short, calm experience on the water. A small boat takes you into the sea cave, where sunlight enters from below the waterline, creating a green glow across the walls. Across the water, Capri provides another well-known stop with steep cliffs and small coves. Here, many people come to see the Blue Grotto, where the water turns a deep blue as light enters from below. 30. Bali, Indonesia. Bali sits in western Indonesia, known for its strong spiritual traditions and quiet spaces shaped by temples and shrines. One of the island's most well-known areas is Ubud, where green hills and long stretches of rice fields surround the town. A morning walk along the Kampuhan Ridge gives you wide views, while the paths through the Tagalalang rice terraces show stepped fields shaped by the old Subak water system. Not too far, Tanah Lot Temple shifts the experience toward the western coast. The temple stands on a rock just offshore, with waves moving steadily around its base throughout the day. Close by, Uluwatu Temple rises across a high cliff on the southern coast. The pathways along the edge stay breezy as you move between viewpoints overlooking the open water. In the evening, the Ketchak Fire Dance begins in the open-air theater with steady chanting. For a higher viewpoint, Mount Batur offers a steady early morning climb. As you rise, the horizon brightens, and from the top you can see the crater, the lake below, and the soft light spreading across the nearby peaks. For a more relaxed coastal setting, Seminyak brings you to a long stretch of beach with gentle waves and open sand. Here, you can take a simple surf lesson in the shallow water or settle into a quiet spot in the late afternoon. To explore another part of the shoreline, Canggu offers a calm beach where the waves roll in at a steady pace. Here, you can walk along the sand or spend more time in the water, making it easy to enjoy the coast. 29. Serengeti National Park. The Serengeti in northern Tanzania stretches across wide open grasslands that feel endless in every direction. The Great Migration shows one of the clearest examples of how the Serengeti changes through the year. Large herds of wildebeest, zebra, and gazelles move across the plains in long lines as they look for fresh grazing areas. The Cerro Nero Valley sits in a central part of the Serengeti, staying active throughout the year. The open plains make it easy to spot animals from a distance, like lions resting on sun-warmed rocks, and leopards often settling on low tree branches for shade. The Grumeti River on the western side of the park offers another view of the region. Tall plants grow along the riverbank, with a slow-moving water that draws wildlife like large crocodiles gathering along the edges. A sunrise hot air balloon ride gives you a higher look at the plains. As the balloon rises, the soft morning light spreads across the grasslands and reveals animals moving in small groups below. 28. Santorini, Greece. Santorini sits in the southern Aegean Sea with steep volcanic cliffs forming a curved rim around a deep bay. The island's shape comes from a major eruption long ago, and the high caldera walls create open, clear views that follow you throughout the island. Fira is one of the island's most familiar starting points, with narrow paths between small shops and the walkways open to wide overlooks of the caldera as you move through town. Nearby, Oya gives you another well-known place to explore along the caldera edge. The white houses and blue dome churches sit close together on the hillside, while the area around the old castro provides open views of the cliffs. Akrotiri offers a different kind of experience on the island. The ancient town was covered by volcanic ash, and the preserved walls and artwork show how people once lived here. Red Beach also draws attention with its volcanic cliffs that appear in deep red and dark brown tones. For a more direct look at Santorini's volcanic center, caldera boat tours offer a steady route across the bay. On Nia Kameni, a marked path leads you toward the crater, where warm ground and small steam vents show that the volcano remains active. 27. Paris, France. Paris is located in northern central France with a calm movement of the water giving the city a steady rhythm. The Eiffel Tower is one of the area's most recognized features. Its tall iron frame rises above the Champ de Mars, an open lawn that gives you plenty of room to walk and look at the structure from different angles. Close by, the Louvre offers a large indoor setting with artwork from many time periods. Once inside, the wide galleries and quiet corners make it simple to take your time. The Ile de la Cité also draws attention, with Notre Dame Cathedral standing near the river center. The archaeological crypt nearby offers a quiet space underground where early parts of Paris remain preserved. Nearby, the Arc de Triomphe provides another elevated viewpoint. The climb to the top leads you to a wide platform where long avenues spread out in straight lines across the city. For a more relaxed experience, Montmartre sits on a hill above the city. The steady walk leads you to the Sacré-Cœur Basilica, where the open terrace gives you a clear view of Paris below. For a quieter pace, the Seine River adds long open walkways that follow the water. Here, you can sit along the edge or take a short boat ride to see the bridges and buildings from another angle. 26. Rome, Italy. Rome is the capital of Italy, where the past is still part of everyday life. Many people call it the Eternal City, showing you how much of its history continues to shape what you see today. One of the city's most well-known features is the Colosseum. Walking toward the structure shows you how large it is, with walls that rise high above the ground. Inside, the open arena and lower tunnels help you understand how much activity once took place here. Not too far, Vatican City offers a very different experience. Here, the Sistine Chapel displays some of the most detailed artwork in Rome, and St. Peter's Basilica adds to the scale of this small but important area. The Pantheon, another key landmark, adds a calmer moment to the city, bringing you into a round interior lit only by the opening on its ceiling. The area also draws people with the Trevi Fountain. Here, water flows from carved stone figures into a wide pool. For a quieter neighborhood experience, Trastevere gives you narrow streets with a slow rhythm. Here, ivy-covered walls and simple trattorias line the routes, where dishes like cacio e pepe or amatriciana reflect the area's long culinary tradition. Also, Piazza di Spagna brings you to one of Rome's most visited spots. The Spanish Steps rise above the square, giving you a clear view of the movement below. 25. New York City. New York City sits in the northeastern United States, made up of 5 boroughs, with Manhattan being the busiest and most visited. The streets stay active throughout the day, creating a steady pace as you move between neighborhoods. Central Park is one of the area's most well-known features. The northern sections, such as the Northwoods and the Harlem Mere, offer wide shaded trails and calm water views. Not too far, Liberty Island gives you a clear view of the Statue of Liberty. A ferry ride takes you across the harbor, where you can walk the island pathways. Ellis Island also draws people who want to learn about early immigration. The National Museum of Immigration fills the main building, and the exhibits show stories from millions of people who arrived in America. Times Square is another one of the area's most well-known features. Here, large screens cover the buildings, and the lights fill the square with constant motion. The Metropolitan Museum of Art adds a calm indoor setting. The galleries cover many time periods, where you can choose the sections you want to explore. Broadway also draws steady crowds in the theater district. People gather outside the theaters as showtimes approach, while the TKTS booth offers same-day tickets at lower prices. For a wider viewpoint, the Brooklyn Bridge gives you one of the clearest long-distance views of Manhattan. 24. Dubai Desert Dunes. The Dubai Desert sits just outside Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, where wide stretches of sand reach far into the distance, and the reddish-orange dunes become easy to see as you enter the open terrain. One of the region's most notable areas is the Dubai Desert Conservation Reserve. This protected section of land is carefully managed, and where you can see Arabian oryx, sand gazelles, and desert birds often appear across the dunes. Nearby, Al Badayer, also called Big Road, offers a more active experience. The steep, bright dunes create a popular place for off-road driving. Traditional Bedouin-style camps add another part of the experience. These camps are designed to reflect earlier ways of life in the desert, where you can enjoy an Emirati dinner along with Tanura spinning performances and falconry demonstrations. Camel-led heritage tours offer a slower way to experience the desert. The gentle movement of the camels creates a steady pace as you cross the sand, giving you a clearer sense of how people once traveled long distances through the region. 23. Seychelles. The Seychelles is an island nation made up of 115 islands in the Indian Ocean, known for its calm beaches and tall granite formations that shape much of the coastline. Praslin gives you one of the clearest starting points in the Seychelles. Here, Vallée des Mai Nature Reserve is one of the most peaceful areas, with shaded paths moving between tall palms. One of the area's most well-known features is Anse Lazio. Here, the sand feels smooth and the water stays calm enough for easy snorkeling, where colorful fish move near the granite rocks, shaping each side of the bay. Nearby, Côte d'Or offers a long, shallow shoreline on the northeast side of Praslin. Here, Courrières Island gives you a chance to walk near giant Aldabra tortoises, while Saint-Pierre also draws people looking for clear water and simple snorkeling around smooth granite formations. La Digue gives you a slower pace with quiet roads and limited cars, so most people ride bicycles, which keeps the island calm and easy to navigate. Ansour d'Argent also draws people with its shallow water and bright white sand. Low tide gives you the clearest views of the rocks, and you can reach the beach by passing through La Union Estate, a quiet park with open paths. For a more open stretch, Grand Anse gives you a wide area of sand on the eastern side of La Digue. Close by, Petit Anse offers a similar calm setting. Here, the sand spreads along the water, and the colors deepen as you move closer to the granite rocks. For a higher viewpoint, Nid d'Aglaé rises above the island with clear views across the water. The trail climbs through shaded sections before opening to a wide lookout at the summit, where you can see Praslin and nearby islands in the distance. 22. Marrakesh Medina. The Medina of Marrakesh sits inside tall red walls built many centuries ago in Morocco, creating one of the most active and historic areas in the city. One of the area's most well-known features is Jema El Fna. During the day, the square feels open, with people moving between stalls and small stands. Not too far, the souks stretch across the Medina, with long covered paths lined with spices, leather goods, metalwork, textiles, and handmade items. The Kutobia Mosque also stands out with its tall minaret rising over the Medina. While entry is limited for non-Muslims, the gardens surrounding the mosque offer open views of the minaret. For a closer look at Moroccan design, Bahia Palace offers carved wood ceilings and bright tile patterns arranged throughout its rooms, making it easy to appreciate the work that went into each part of the palace. For a quieter interior setting, Ben Youssef Madrasa gives you a peaceful courtyard lined with carved stucco and cedarwood, where you can walk along the edges. Nearby, Le Jardin Secret adds a calm stop within the Medina. The garden uses traditional water channels and clear paths that let you walk and enjoy the quiet surroundings. 21. Patagonia. Patagonia covers the entire southern end of South America, stretching across long valleys, tall mountains, and huge ice fields, giving you many places to explore. One of the area's most well-known features is Los Glaciares National Park. Here, the Perito Moreno Glacier rises in tall blue walls above the water, and the viewing balconies give you clear angles of the ice from different heights. Not too far, El Chaltén offers a quieter mountain setting with granite peaks rising above the village. Trails like the route to Laguna de los Tres begin near the town, leading you through open meadows, streams, and steady climbs. Farther south, Ushuaia adds a very different atmosphere at the tip of Argentina. The city sits along the Beagle Channel with mountains behind it. Boat rides through the channel bring you closer to sea lions resting on rocks and seabirds moving across the water. Across the border in Chile, Torres del Paine National Park brings another key part of Patagonia into view. The tall granite towers rise above bright blue lakes with trails that take you deeper into the park. Also, Glacier Gray stands out with its long wall of ice stretching across the water, shifting in shades of blue as the light changes. Close by, Puerto Natales works as a calm base along a long sound. Boat trips from the town travel through narrow fjords lined with steep cliffs that lead you to the Balmaceda and Serrano glaciers, where ice meets the water in wide, quiet formations. For a more remote experience, the Carretera Austral continues through forests, rivers, and small towns, keeping you close to the natural landscape the entire way. One of the most memorable stops is the Marble Caves, where the smooth gray and blue stone reflects the light in clear patterns. 20. Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone sits in the northwest corner of Wyoming, with steady steam rising from different parts of the ground. The park rests on a large volcanic caldera, which creates strong heat beneath the surface that powers more than half of the world's active geysers and thousands of hot springs. One of the park's most well-known features is Old Faithful, erupting on a regular schedule. When the eruption begins, water shoots more than 100 feet into the air. Not too far, the Grand Prismatic Spring adds one of the clearest color displays in the park. The boardwalk circles the edge, where the bright rings around the deep blue center become easy to see through the steam. The Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone also draws many people for its steep yellow walls and powerful waterfalls. Here, Artist Point gives you a broad view of the lower falls as they drop into the canyon. Inspiration Point sits farther up the road, offering a direct look into the narrow walls and rushing river below. For open wildlife areas, Hayden Valley stretches out with calm grasslands and slow river bends. Meanwhile, Lamar Valley in the northeast offers long views across rolling hills. Also, Yellowstone Lake provides one of the largest high-elevation lakes in the country. The cold water extends far into the distance, and small steam vents rise along parts of the shoreline, creating a calm setting to enjoy the open water. Mammoth Hot Springs brings a different look with white terraces formed by mineral-rich water. Here, boardwalks guide you across active sections where hot water flows over the rock and builds new layers. 19. Swiss Alps. The Swiss Alps in southwestern Switzerland, known for their tall peaks, open valleys, and wide glacier views, Zermatt Village gives you one of the easiest places to start, with wooden chalets and small shops that make it simple to walk around. From here, you first see the Matterhorn, a sharp pyramid-shaped peak rising above the valley. As you move through the center of Zermatt, the Mountaineers Cemetery adds another point of interest, offering a quiet look at the area's long climbing history. For one of the clearest viewpoints in the Swiss Alps, Gornergrat gives you a wide open look at the surrounding peaks. Not too far, Matterhorn Glacier Paradise brings you to another high position. Here, the Glacier Palace sits beneath the surface. With carved ice tunnels and frozen walls you can walk through at a slow pace. The Sunega area also draws people looking for bright open views. The Five Lakes Walk begins in this area, passing calm alpine lakes with clear reflections of the surrounding ridges on still days. For a quieter setting, Schwarzsee provides a simple place to slow down. Here, the Maria zum Schnees Chapel stands near the water. 18. Great Ocean Road. The Great Ocean Road runs along the southern coast of Victoria, stretching for more than 150 miles. Built by returning soldiers after World War I, it stands as the world's largest war memorial, connecting you to small towns, forest trails, and open lookouts. One of the area's most well-known features is the 12 Apostles. These tall limestone stacks rise from the water and take on warm colors when the sun is low. Not too far, Loch Ard Gorge gives you a closer look at the cliffs. London Arch also draws attention along this stretch of road. For a different experience, Great Otway National Park brings you into deep forest, and a short road leads you to the Cape Otway Light Station, where the wide views reach across the water. Lorne provides a small place to slow down with forest trails. One of the short routes brings you to a tall waterfall that drops into a shallow pool, while the sheltered beach in town offers soft waves. Close by, Apollo Bay offers another quiet stretch along the water. Its long sandy beach stays open with the shoreline, giving you space to walk near the edge of the sand. The Bay of Islands adds a softer, quieter viewpoint with smaller limestone stacks rising from the water in different shapes. 17. Cinque Terre. Cinque Terre sits along a small stretch of the Italian Riviera where 5 coastal villages rise from tall cliffs above the water. One of the region's most well-known starting points is Monte Rosso. This village offers the widest beach areas in Cinque Terre and open walkways that make it easy to enjoy the shoreline. Not too far, Vernazza provides a natural harbor that feels steady. A small square sits near the water, and the narrow lanes guide you up toward the Doria Castle. From the viewpoint, the surrounding area comes into full view. Corniglia also draws attention for its higher setting. The village sits above the water, offering a quieter pace than the others. For a strong sunset, Manarola gives you one of the most open angles. The bright houses line the cliffs above a small harbor. Close by, Rio Maggiore offers tall, narrow buildings rising above a tight harbor. Here, you can walk down to the water and look up at the layered homes that give the village its distinct style. 16. Arashiyama Bamboo Forest. Arashiyama sits on the west side of Kyoto, Japan, known for its quiet paths, tall bamboo, and steady river views. One of the area's most well-known features is the Bamboo Grove. The main walkway, Chikurin no Kumichi, guides you through tall bamboo rising far above the path. Not too far, Tenryuji Temple adds a quiet space beside the grove. The grounds open around Songenchi Pond, a garden designed in the 1300s. Okochi Sanso Villa also draws people looking for a peaceful walk. The villa sits on higher ground with wide garden paths, small tea houses, and lookout points with open views across Kyoto. The Katsura River area brings a wider view of Arashiyama. The well-known Togetsukyo Bridge crosses the water and gives you a clear look at the mountains, which change color through the seasons. For a higher viewpoint, Monkey Park Iwatayama sits above the river. Here, wild macaque monkeys move freely around the space, so you can observe them from a safe distance. The Sagano Scenic Railway offers a slow route through one of the most scenic parts of the district. Large windows give you a direct view of the valley, keeping the experience simple and relaxing. The Kimono Forest introduces a modern touch to the district, with tall pillars wrapped in colorful kimono fabric lining the walkway. The open design makes this section easy to enjoy as you explore the station area. 15. Amalfi Positano Drive. The Amalfi Coast stretches along southern Italy with steep cliffs and small towns built close to the shoreline. One of the area's most well-known features is Positano, lined with colorful homes that rise above the water, and the narrow walkways leading you past linen shops and local sandal makers. The main beach sits at the base of the village, and a short boat ride from the shore gives you a wide look at how the buildings stack along the slope. Not too far away, Amalfi town adds a more open center. The cathedral near the main square stands out with its striped front and broad staircase. Ravello also draws people looking for higher views, sitting above the shoreline with calm streets leading you to open terraces overlooking the sea. At Villa Ruffolo, the garden paths stretch toward wide viewpoints, while Villa Cimbrone offers another clear overlook from the edge of its garden. Nearby, the Emerald Grotto gives you a short, simple stop. The sea cave is known for the green glow of its water, created by sunlight entering through an opening below the surface. A small rowboat brings you inside, where the color stands out against the rock walls. The Furore Fjord adds another unique corner along the coast. A narrow opening between steep rock walls leads to a tiny beach and a few old fishing homes. From the bridge above, you get a clear look at the deep cut in the cliffs and the bright water below. 14. Bali's Ubud Rice Terraces. Ubud sits in the central highlands of Bali, known for its wide rice terraces that follow river valleys and hillsides. Farmers use these stepped paddies to manage water flow, creating long patterns across the land. One of the area's most well-known features is the Tegalalang Rice Terraces. The steps curve sharply down into the valley, forming long ridges that follow the shape of the hills. Here, you can walk along the narrow paths, cross small irrigation channels, and reach the lower levels for a closer look at how the water moves between fields. Not too far, Jati Lui offers a wider and more open landscape. The terraces spread across gentle hills, creating one of the largest continuous rice-growing areas in Bali. Also, small subak shrines appear throughout the fields, marking important points in the traditional irrigation network. Seeing the offerings placed at each shrine helps you understand how religion and farming remain closely connected in Bali. 13. Lake Louise. Lake Louise sits in Banff National Park in Alberta, Canada, known for its bright turquoise water shaped by glacial rock flour. One of the area's most well-known features is the canoe experience on the lake, letting you move across the water without any rush. As you paddle toward the center, the view opens to the glacier and surrounding peaks, giving you a clear look at the size of the valley. Not too far, the Lake Agnes Tea House Trail brings you into a quieter part of the area, with the tea house sitting close to the water. The Plain of Six Glaciers Trail also draws hikers who want wider views. Glaciers and high rock walls line the trail, giving you a clear sense of the surrounding mountains as you continue along the path. 12. Cappadocia Hot Air Valleys. Cappadocia sits in central Anatolia, known for its tall rock formations called fairy chimneys. These soft volcanic structures formed over thousands of years, and many were carved into homes, churches, and shelter spaces used throughout history. One of the region's defining highlights is the sunrise hot air balloon flights. Just before daylight, dozens of balloons lift above the valleys, floating slowly over the chimneys as the sky brightens. A short distance away, the Rose and Red Valleys show some of the clearest natural colors in Cappadocia. Trails move through pink and red rock walls, passing small cave churches carved into the cliffs. This valley network also draws you toward Love Valley, known for its tall, uniquely shaped chimneys. The wide floor keeps the walk simple, and the spacing of the formations gives each area its own look. For a different pace, Pigeon Valley stretches between Goreme and Uchisar with thousands of carved pigeon houses. The trail winds through shaded corners and open clearings, with side paths leading to quiet spots where you can look closely at the small openings carved into the cliffs. Uchisar Castle rises above the surrounding valleys as the highest viewpoint in the area. Carved stairways and tunnels guide you toward the top, where the summit opens wide views in all directions. 11. Victoria Peak View. Victoria Peak sits on Hong Kong Island, rising as the highest point in the area, giving you steady views of the city. One of the area's most well-known features is the Peak Tram. This historic funicular climbs directly from Central to the top, and the steep incline gives you clear views of the skyline as the buildings stretch below. Not too far, Sky Terrace 428 provides the highest open-air platform on the peak. The terrace gives you a clear, unobstructed view of the surrounding area. The Peak Tower and nearby Peak Galleria also draw people looking for simple places to walk and enjoy the surroundings. Both buildings include upper levels with open viewing spots where you can sit and look over the harbor. For a quieter setting, Lugard Road Lookout Walk circles part of the peak with a flat, shaded trail, giving you a calmer experience away from the busier viewpoints. For a more open green space, Victoria Peak Garden sits slightly above the main lookout areas. The lawns and small pavilions create a peaceful setting for walking while still staying close to the wider views around the peak. 10. Serengeti Migration. The Serengeti National Park in northern Tanzania covers millions of acres of open plains and river valleys with a steady movement of wildlife, making it one of the most well-known ecosystems in Africa. One of the area's most well-known features is the Great Migration, when more than 1 million wildebeest move in a continuous cycle across the plains. Not too far, the Seroneta River Valley provides steady wildlife viewing at any time of year, often revealing lions resting under trees and leopards stretch across branches, while the river supports hippos at the Retina Hippo Pool, where you can watch them shift, splash, and settle into the deeper sections of water. The Morucopias area also draws many animals, providing clear views from raised granite formations. Large cats often rest on the rocks or move between the shaded sections. Hot air balloon flights offer a higher perspective of the plains, where you can see herds spread out across the grasslands. For a closer cultural experience, nearby Maasai villages provide a look at daily traditions, where you can meet members of the community, see their homes, and learn how they manage life. For a more remote experience, the Namiri Plains in the eastern Serengeti offer wide views of the surrounding area. This area was once designated for cheetah research, and the open grasslands still make it a strong place to see cheetahs move in clear sightlines. Walking safaris in designated zones provide a different way to understand the Serengeti. Moving on foot with an armed ranger helps you notice smaller details, while still giving you a strong sense of the environment. Lobo Valley sits farther north, following part of the migration route. Here, rolling hills and woodlands create long open views, where herds and predators move across the terrain. 9. Venice, Italy. Venice, located in northeastern Italy within the Veneto region, spreads across 118 small islands in the shallow waters of the Venice Lagoon. More than 400 bridges link these islands, and about 180 canals run between them, creating a layout that encourages walking and exploring. One of the area's most well-known features is Piazza San Marco. This space is simple to cross, with its layout helping you take in the size of the area. Not too far, St. Mark's Basilica adds another major landmark. Inside, gold mosaics cover the ceilings and walls, and the Marciana Museum gives you access to the original St. Mark's horses. The Doge's Palace also draws many people, once serving as the center of Venetian government. The Secret Itineraries tour leads you through older rooms, prison cells, and narrow corridors that show how the building functioned during earlier centuries. A short walk along the waterfront brings you to the Rialto Bridge, the oldest crossing over the Grand Canal. From the top, you can see the palaces lining the water and watch boats move below. The Grand Canal serves as the main water route through Venice. A gondola ride gives you a traditional way to see the palaces up close, while a vaporetto ride offers a wider view along the full curve of the canal. Nearby, the Campanile di San Marco rises over the square. An elevator takes you straight to the top, where the open viewing platform gives you long views of Venice in every direction. A short walk along the canal brings you to the Peggy Guggenheim Collection. The galleries hold modern European and American art. Across the city, Libreria Acqua Alta offers a playful setup with books stored in bathtubs and gondolas to protect them from flooding. Nearby, the Scala Contarini del Bovolo features a spiral staircase that blends Gothic and Renaissance elements. Climbing to the top gives you a quiet rooftop view across Venice. A short trip brings you to the Jewish ghetto in Cannaregio, established in 1516. Here, the synagogues and nearby streets show the historic layout of the neighborhood. A Vaporetto ride gives you a simple route to Burano, known for its bright houses arranged along calm canals. Here, you can walk through the island, taking in the peaceful atmosphere. Not too far, Squero di San Trovaso shows one of the last traditional gondola boatyards. From across the canal, you can watch craftsmen repair and shape gondolas using long-standing techniques. A short walk from the boatyard brings you to Chiesa di San Zaccaria, a Gothic Renaissance church with quiet side rooms. The partially flooded crypt contains the tombs of several doges, offering a calm space to pause. 8. London, England. London is the capital of England and the United Kingdom, stretching across Greater London. One of the area's most well-known features is the Tower of London. Inside, the crown jewels are displayed in a secure gallery, and the surrounding paths help you see how the castle developed over time. Not too far, Tower Bridge provides a clear look at the river. The walkways above the roadway give you steady views of the Thames, and the glass floors show the boats moving below. For a deeper look at London's past, Westminster Abbey offers another important stop. The interior includes royal tombs and Poets' Corner, where writers and thinkers are honored. A short walk brings you to Buckingham Palace, where the changing of the guard takes place outside the main gates, and during summer months, you can enter the staterooms to see the detailed interiors. For another view of world history, the British Museum provides free access to its collections. Here, the Rosetta Stone and the Elgin marbles are among the most recognized pieces. Not too far, the National Gallery, providing paintings from many time periods, fills the rooms. For a quieter area, St. Dunstan in the east offers a calm break. The open church walls sit among shaded trees and small paths, creating a simple place to pause without leaving the city center. Little Venice provides another slower setting, where you can walk along the canals and watch houseboats move through the water. For a higher viewpoint, the Sky Garden sits at the top of the walkie-talkie building. Free timed entry lets you move through the indoor garden and view the city through large windows that stretch across the upper floors. Leadenhall Market also adds a distinct stop with its covered walkways of detailed arches and open passages, making it easy to explore the space. Not too far, Holland Park offers the Kyoto Garden with a small waterfall, clear pool, and stone paths that create a peaceful corner within the larger park. Postman's Park provides another quiet stop, where ceramic memorial plaques line the sheltered wall and honor individuals who lost their lives protecting others. Highgate Cemetery adds one more area to explore, with old stone paths moving past Victorian tombs and historic graves, allowing you to take in the details of this hillside cemetery. 7. Maldives Atolls. The Maldives sits in the Indian Ocean as a chain of coral atolls spreading across clear, shallow water. The country includes more than 1,000 small islands, many surrounded by calm lagoons and soft white sand. One of the area's most well-known features is Malé, the capital at the center of the chain. The narrow streets stay active during the day, with markets displaying fresh fish, fruit, and local crafts. A short walk brings you to the Old Friday Mosque, where coral stone walls show detailed carvings. Not too far, the North Malé Atoll offers a simple starting point for exploring the ocean. Banana Reef provides clear water and steady currents, where bright coral and fish appear easily as you swim along the edge of the reef. South Ari Atoll also draws people with its quiet channels and deeper water. This part of the Maldives is known for whale sharks that pass through year-round. For a different experience, Ba Atoll offers one of the country's protected marine areas. During certain months, manta rays gather in Hanifaru Bay to feed, circling through the water in smooth patterns. Farther south, Fuva Mula gives you a distinct change in scenery with a freshwater lake and tall plant life not found on most coral islands. The deep water around it attracts tiger sharks, and guided dives take you to safe viewing points where the animals pass by in steady, controlled movements. Vavu Atoll provides another calm setting across small, widely spaced islands. At night, guided snorkeling trips show nurse sharks resting along the sand or moving slowly through sheltered parts of the reef. Reaching Adu Atoll brings you to a group of islands connected by long causeways. Riding a bike across these stretches give you wide views of the water. Badu Island adds another unique feature with its glowing shoreline. At night, tiny plankton in the water light up when the waves touch the sand, creating small flashes of soft blue color. For a closer look at local life, islands like Mafushi or Todu provide a slower pace. Walking through the neighborhoods show how people live across the Maldives, connecting each stop to the next. 6. Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu sits in the Andes Mountains of southern Peru, resting close to 8,000 feet above sea level. The path toward the entrance opens into long agricultural terraces that step down the mountain, showing how the Incas shaped the land. One of the site's most well-known features is the main urban sector, where stone paths guide you through living areas, open plazas, and temples built with clean, precise stonework. Not too far, the Guardian's House offers one of the clearest views of the entire site. From this higher spot, the terrace is spread out below. The Intihuatana stone also draws people who want to see one of the most carefully carved features in the ruins. For a higher viewpoint, the trail toward the Sun Gate rises gradually along the hillside. From the top, you can see the full layout of the city and surrounding area. Another part of the site gives you the Temple of the Sun. Its curved outer wall and finely joined stones show a high level of skill. A short walk brings you to the trail leading toward Huayna Picchu. The steps climb steeply along the mountain, and from the summit, the full shape of Machu Picchu stretches across the ridge. For a quieter route, the path to the Temple of the Moon branches away from the main trails. The small cave contains carved niches and stone details that show another style of Inca construction. Close by, the trail to the Inca Bridge follows a narrow path cut into the cliffside. The bridge itself is a small gap that once used a removable wooden plank. 5. Iceland's South Coast Route. The south coast of Iceland stretches east from Reykjavik, following the main road past several landscapes shaped by glaciers and volcanic activity. One of the area's most well-known features is Seljalandsfoss. A path wraps behind the falling water when the ground is safe, letting you look through the curtain of water as it drops into the pool below. Not too far, Gljufrabrøy sits partly hidden inside a narrow opening in the rock. Here, you can walk between tall walls until the sound grows louder and the waterfall appears in a small open chamber. Skogafoss along the route also draws many people, where you can walk close to the base and feel the mist from the powerful stream. From a higher view, a long set of stairs reaches the top, where you can look across the surrounding area. For a higher viewpoint, the path towards Ngvunarfoss sits in a quieter canyon. Its steady, smooth drop and sheltered surroundings make the area feel peaceful. Another part of the region gives you Reynisfjara, a black sand beach lined with tall basalt columns and sea stacks just offshore. A short drive brings you to Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon, where icebergs break away from the glacier and float slowly toward the ocean. Across the road, Diamond Beach spreads out along the shoreline. Clear pieces of ice wash up on the black sand, standing out sharply when the sun hits them. For a different experience, Sóleyjarjökull extends from the larger ice cap. The ice forms deep cracks and bright blue sections shaped by years of pressure and cold temperatures. Farther inland, guided tours into the Katla ice cave show layers of bright ice and dark ash inside the walls, revealing how volcanic eruptions and glaciers build on each other over time. Close by, Seljavallalog sits in a quiet mountain valley, where warm water flows from a natural source into a man-made pool. 4. Yosemite Valley. Yosemite Valley sits in the Sierra Nevada mountains, forming the central area of Yosemite National Park. Here, tall granite walls rise on both sides, and the flat valley floor makes it easy for you to move through meadows and open paths. One of the area's most well-known features is El Capitan. The smooth granite face climbs sharply above the trees, and El Capitan Meadow gives you one of the clearest views of the wall. Not too far, the shape of Half Dome begins to appear above the valley with its rounded top and sheer face. Here, Stoneman Meadow offers a quiet place to take in the view. Close by, Yosemite Falls also draws many people. The waterfall drops in several sections. A smooth, short path leads you to the base of the lower fall, where the cool mist reaches you as soon as you get close. For a higher viewpoint, the road continues toward Tunnel View. After you pass through the tunnel, the valley opens wide with a clear view of the surrounding area. Another part of the valley gives you Bridal Veil Fall, where the water moves across the rocks near the base. A short drive brings you to the Mist Trail, one of the most active routes in the valley. The trail climbs toward Vernal Fall and then higher to Nevada Fall. For a different experience, the Valley Loop Trail circles the entire valley floor. The western side stays especially peaceful, so walking here gives you steady ground-level views of the surrounding area. 3. Swiss Jungfrau Region. The Jungfrau region in central Switzerland covers a wide area of open valleys and tall peaks. The Lauterbrunnen Valley gives you a peaceful starting point with its tall rock walls, while the Grindenwald side feels more active with steady movement at the base of the mountains. One of the area's most well-known experiences is Jungfraujoch, where you reach it by taking a cogwheel train that climbs through a long tunnel and arrives at the highest railway station in Europe. Here, the Sphinx Observatory sits above the snow. Not too far, Schildhorn gives you another high viewpoint. The cable car rises quickly above the valley, and once you arrive at the top, the rotating restaurant provides views in every direction. On the way down, stopping at Birg gives you access to the Thrill Walk, a metal path set along the cliff that offers a close view of the deep drop below. Grindelwald is the next major area that also draws many people. Riding the gondola up to Grindelwald first brings you to a high viewpoint with several outdoor activities. Here, the first cliff walk curves along the mountainside, giving you a wide look over the valley. Another part of the region brings you back toward Lauterbrunnen, where hidden spots sit inside the cliffs. Here, Trummelbach Falls runs through narrow rock passages, and the tunnels let you see and hear the strong glacier water as it moves through the mountain. Farther up the valley, the car-free village of Muren offers a quiet setting with open views and slow-moving streets. A short funicular ride takes you to Almendbol, where you can begin the North Face Trail that passes through meadows and small alpine farms. If you want something more challenging, the Muren Via Ferrata follows a route of steel cables, ladders, and a long suspension bridge. For an easier outing, Mannlichen offers a gentle experience, providing one of the clearest perspectives of the surrounding peaks. 2. Bora Bora Lagoon. Bora Bora in French Polynesia is shaped by a large lagoon that spreads far beyond the shoreline of the main island. A full day boat tour in the lagoon takes you to quiet areas where you can snorkel above coral heads and swim with small reef sharks and stingrays in shallow, clear water. Not too far, Matida Beach provides one of the easiest places to enjoy the coast. The clear, shallow water lets you walk on the soft sand that stretches along the southern end of the island. Mount Otemanu is the next major feature that also stands out clearly with its steep, jagged peak that rises above the lagoon. A helicopter ride gives you a wider look at the mountain and the lagoon together. Another part of the lagoon brings you to Coral Gardens, where the water stays clear and colorful fish move around the coral in steady patterns. If you prefer something more active, Mount Pahia offers a guided hike through forested sections and higher rock paths. 1. Santorini Caldera View. The Santorini Caldera View stretches along the western edge of the island of Santorini, where steep cliffs drop into a wide volcanic basin that opens across the Aegean Sea. Thera is one of the first major areas where you reach along the caldera with narrow paths and small shops arranged along the cliff. The walkways give you different angles of the water as you move through the center. Here you can visit the Museum of Prehistoric Terra, where you see pottery and artifacts uncovered from the island's early history. Fido Stefani sits just north of Fira, bringing a quieter atmosphere. Here, the pathways feel more open, and the elevation gives you steady views across the caldera. I Merovigli rises farther along the rim, providing some of the clearest views of the cliffs. A short path leads you to Scaros Rock, a large formation that once held a fortress, giving you a broad look at the water and the volcanic islands. The Caldera Trail continues toward Oya, where the scenery stays open and constant. As you approach the village, the white homes and small terraces create a calm setting overlooking the water. People often gather near the ruins of the castle of St. Nicholas to watch the sunset, while the blue dome churches near the Anastasi area add another recognizable viewpoint. A descent from the village brings you to Amudi Bay. The route follows steep steps down to a small port with clear water and red cliffs rising above it. Moving inland leads you to Megalochori, a traditional village with narrow lanes and older architecture. The small squares and shaded alleys show a softer side of the island, away from the busier areas along the caldera. Farther south, Emporio adds another historical area to explore. Its center forms a compact maze of stone passages and close-built homes that reflect how people once protected their community. Reaching the end of the caldera rim brings you to the Akrotiri Lighthouse. The viewpoint stands on a solid stretch of cliff facing the full sweep of the caldera and the surrounding area. If you're looking for any tips to enhance your own personal travel and help you manage your travel budget more effectively, click the link in the description. And remember to like and subscribe to help our channel grow.